There's a man going around taking names. And he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around.
Was that Johnny Cash?
Johnny Cash,
Johnny
baby.
Cash.
The man in black.
I don't think anybody's done Johnny Cash.
No one's done Johnny.
Jesse's the first one to do
I actually
Johnny
love
Cash.
Johnny. Sometimes when I'm up at the farm, I'll throw Johnny on. My wife will be like, shut up. I'll say, you shut up.
Outlaw country is the only good kind of country music there is.
Outlaw
Wait a
country.
minute. How old are you, Jesse?
24.
Wow.
The guy's a kid. So we have Jesse Barbosa
Yes, sir.
from Barbosa Carpentry.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about framing.
Framing.
I love the
framing.
way that you brought it up before the mics were rolling. You're following along the podcast. You're looking at them. You're seeing all the numbers go up, but no framer. It's on us. It's bad. We know it. We wanted to. We try. We want it. We want to get more. You're the first framer. So you have to leave an impression now on this show for framing.
I know.
It's not a lot of pressure.
I know.
So we're going to get into a lot about framing. Okay, so first off, let's just get the handles out of the way. So Jesse, you're on IG at Barbosa Carpentry. For anybody who's not Portuguese, or I don't know what to call them, it's
I'm not Portuguese.
Barbosa. Okay, Carpentry. And your phone number to reach out to you because you're still being hired, right? So,
Yes, sir.
647-227-7783. That's a lot of sevens, man.
Easy to remember.
Exactly. Your email is barbosacarpentry@outlook.com. Okay. I want to talk about framing, but before we get into that, I just want to do a shout out to, I bumped into Andrew Prete from Carpentry on Site.
No way.
He gave me some stickers and he gave me a COVID mask with his logo on it.
Well, where's mine?
I don't know.
You actually accepted that without getting me one?
And he gave me a really nice shirt too, a nice soccer shirt.
What?
Seriously, man.
Well, I'm not impressed.
Hey, Andrew, you got to get one for Carlito. I said, I don't know.
I would totally represent that.
I didn't say, no, it's actually pretty. And gave me 2 stickers. I got one on the laptop here.
Where's my sticker? I love stickers.
You don't have a laptop.
Is that a scratch and sniff?
And you don't believe in COVID.
Are you crazy? I don't believe in it, but I have to follow the rules.
And you don't
though.
wear clothing. So then why would he give you a shirt?
I wear
COVID,
Speedos.
and sticker.
I
Here
wear
we go.
Speedos. Does he have Speedos in that color?
You can ask him. DM him. Okay, so first off, we got, our little segment, right, Jesse?
Yeah.
We got to do
history. Yeah,
History with Manny.
This was an interesting one because I had to start thinking about who was who's the first framer? Like, what was the first framing job? But then that took me someplace else, and all of a sudden I was like thinking, when did people start using wood to build?
Oh, I would say from beginning of time.
Since caveman days.
Man,
Yeah.
I thought, wow, I didn't think approximately 395 to 400 million years ago.
Wow.
All right, so it was actually a discovery in Canada, in New Brunswick, that yielded the earliest known plants that have grown wood. Approximately 395
In
to 400
Canada?
In Canada. Wood can be dated back as far with carbon dating, some species of dendrochronology to determine when a wooden object was created.
Wow.
That far back. So I also want to ask you guys, when was stone first used in construction?
Oh, I would say definitely stone was the first.
No.
No.
You got the pyramids.
You're warm.
Mesopotamians.
You're in and around the same. So it's 2,600 BC.
Okay.
Egyptians. The pyramids, that's basically where it started being, that's the first time that stone was being used.
What about all the cave structures and
I don't know. That's right.
I guess actual stone building, not carving.
They were talking about, they were using blocks of stone that were from 2.3 million years ago.
Wow.
It was like limestone and red granite. That's what they were using, right? Now, here's another question. When did houses start being built? The actual homes?
Like as we see them today, kind of?
No, not necessarily as today, but as a structure for a human being. It's not anytime soon, guys. This is 1.8 million years ago in Tanzania. They found a structure that was 1.8 million years old.
Okay, but we have to go back to everything was African continent at one time.
Everything started in Africa.
So when it split up, it ended up in these locations.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Then I've got the question of what is the oldest house in the world right now? So the Nap, spelled with a K. Sorry, man, I got my throat.
Would it be in Mexico?
No, the Nap of Howard dating back as around 3,600 BC.
Where is that?
Napa Tower is the oldest building. I don't even know where it is. It didn't tell me. I don't know where it is.
Got to be Egypt.
It's got to be around there. I'm thinking the Middle East. That's right. So they discovered it in the 1930s. It was only discovered because it was revealed from erosion.
Wow.
So it was buried underneath stuff.
Very interesting.
And that was
History with Manny. You're getting pretty good at this, Manny. You're doing some... I really think that this isn't you getting this research. I think you have a little...
Are you
money
kidding me, man? I'm the one that sits there and think, okay, well, we're
I
talking
think
to
you're
a framer.
paying someone to find this
I'm
information.
not paying anybody, man. So that was... I thought I'd share that information, but now we have our other segment that we want to roll right into. And I'm not doing it. You're doing it.
Construction bone.
To pick.
So my construction bone, and I'd love you to share something with us, Jesse. Like,
Perfect.
Yeah, add in.
I was honestly just now expecting to have to like explain like when balloon framing started. And
Oh, we'll get into all that stuff.
Yes,
We'll get into that.
excellent. So my bone is, why are trades? Why do they feel like they can leave a mess on every job? Like lately, the last 4 projects I've done, the electricians have left every box, every wire, every piece of drywall, and dust everywhere. Then I come back into site, they're not there. The homeowner's there, and they think I'm a pig and I'm not running the site properly because these guys are making me look bad.
What are your thoughts on that, Jesse?
Maybe not so much like working as a sub for a builder, but I know, or I feel anyways, on like the working direct for homeowner side of things, people try to drive their square foot values and their prices as low as they possibly can. So aside from a sub trade either just being like a messy person, they got to find a way to make money. And if they're building, completion, no time for that.
So their thought about leaving a mess is because they need to make more money on the time that they're working there?
Well, yeah, because like if you...
That doesn't make sense.
No, well, I don't agree
Yeah.
with it because when I hired them, I expect them to show up, do their job, and take whatever they had and get it out because I don't price to clean up after them.
Well, yeah, for when like you guys obviously like you pay your trades, your sub trades all properly, so that should be expected. It should be written into whatever contract you sign, like however you found it, how you leave it, respect the next trade.
That's it. Exactly.
That's
that
right.
sort of thing.
Well said.
What I was trying to say was like when you're not working for a builder and people are just the low ball price, like a guy will frame a house for $12,000. So that guy, once he realizes, oh shit, I fucked up, like can't make money here. Why is he going to do that? Why is he going to take?
So
pride
they're
in the
gonna
rest
they're
of
gonna
that
look at
drop?
the list of things that they would normally do, and since they didn't get the correct price for the job, then they start thinking, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to
Yeah,
do that.
they're
Instead
finding
of 3
ways-
nails, it's going to be like 2 nails.
2.
I think that's a cop out, and if the guys
I agree
are
with
thinking-
Jesse that guys are doing that for that reason.
I know, but do you think I'm going to hire you after that?
No, that's the thing.
You'll never get work from me again.
Here's the problem: is that you get one shot, and you get a one shot every time you get a job.
You know
So
how many?
if I hire you
do you know how many
again, you get one
electricians I've
shot?
gone through?
I-
I've cycled through so many trades.
You know what kills me
recently.
about your point there, your bone, is that there's a bin on site, and the thing is that you'll get each trade leave a little bit of mess of their own. And they think, oh, it's nothing. It's a little bit. It's a box here. It's a wire there. It's nothing. But think about all the trades that are on there and all the guys that are on there and all those little messes all piling up to one big mess. And before you know it, I need a bin on site now.
Well,
I have a bin. But guess what? You're leaving and you're not dropping the garbage in the bin.
Well, how about this? I got finished floors. I got high polished porcelain that's 50 by 50. You can't just replace that. I've got brand new hardwood flooring, and I have covered the floors completely, and I've covered them very well. These guys will tear apart my cardboard or my floor protection when I'm not looking.
Why?
Then all their debris will actually get underneath.
Why are they turning it apart?
Well, because they need to get to something, or they're moving around their knees, or they're twisting their materials around, and it's just tearing, right? So
all these guys have to understand is that I'm paying attention. I'm not senile yet. So I could see that you guys are doing a bad job. And if you want to leave a little mess, leave a little mess.
So
but I'm paying attention to it.
So I spoke to the owner of one of the electrical companies, and I just said, listen, man, I never budgeted to clean up after you. Your guys are leaving complete. And I brought up the message that
never budgeted to clean up after
bin outside.
grown men.
There is a bin outside. Your guys are walking right past it, take your garbage and put it in the bin.
Jesse, isn't it dangerous? Like you're framing, isn't it more dangerous to have a bunch of offcuts here and there everywhere? Like it's
Absolutely.
risk. It's 100% risk at that stage of framing. It's risk. I know when it's framing stage, I have 4 bins, like 4 little mini Brafasco bins, like the garbage bins, the tough ones, right? That takes a lot of offcuts and garbage and shit like that. Grab that. It's not incredibly heavy and then dump it in the bin.
Every site I'm on, there's usually 2 to 4 like
Yeah.
brute rubber
those brute
bins,
ones.
whatever.
Yeah, I love those.
My name is spray painted on
Yeah.
them, and every job they come, every job they stay, you put your water bottles, all your coffee cups, cutoffs, whatever. Not always a bin on site.
But you have
for
those
us,
containers.
But those are there, and they at least get organized into a pile.
Yeah.
That'll make it easy to load a bin later.
Are your guys just as good as you?
They have to be. I'll call them out for it.
That's amazing. And by the way, I thought this was really important to talk about is a clean, safe site. And I'm picking on
a
electric.
clean is a safe site.
Yeah. I'm not so much picking on electricians because it's across the board. It's everybody. It's the plumbers. It's the HVAC guys. It's the tile guys. It's everybody. The hardwood flooring
Is there any
guys.
trade
the
that doesn't
staining
make a
guys.
mess?
Some guys respect and they want to work with me. Those are the guys that end up being the team, and we're all the team. Just because it's my site doesn't mean it's not their site. If I get a job and I sub them out, that's our site together. That means that the next site will be our site together. We're
reflection.
working together as a team.
So
why would
subtrade,
you
yeah.
leave me behind to take the loss of time, income, putting another guy on there when I could have him doing other things? You know what I mean? So anyways, that's my little rant today.
That's your little construction bone.
But I'd like to hear what he has to say because he said that he has a couple bones, and I don't mean it like that. So what do you got for us on a construction bone?
Why does everyone feel like it's okay to take advantage of a subtrade or any tradesperson at every corner? Everything with money, with scope of work, everything. It feels like almost every job I'm at, when it comes time for like a completion draw or something, you invoice them and then
It's a negotiation.
it's a negotiation. Or the biggest thing that ever happened to me was the first house I ever framed, like on my own as my company. I did it by myself for cash,
Wow.
which is evil. Like I learned that lesson pretty quick.
I like that. If you could see his face right now, he was serious. Like he was like telling both of us at the same time.
And then all of a sudden trusses are up and I'm like, hey, can I get a draw? Like I need to get paid here. He goes, what do you mean? What draw? And like,
Honestly?
it's been like it was a little 1,800 square foot bungalow, but still at like that point, how are you going to watch a guy every day by himself bust his ass off in the June heat?
Yeah.
And then think you can go, hey, it's fine. I don't need to pay you.
Did he pay?
No. That was
Wow.
that was the last time I was in a subdivision. I went to the builder. I tried calling everyone's site super, everyone. They're like, you're a subtrade, can't help you.
What was his name? Tell me his name. I know that. Oh, I know him.
But what I would like to know is
I was gonna say it too, because fuck that guy. But
I
whatever.
would like you to
we'll
tell
get
me
in
who that
trouble.
guy is, because if I ever hear that company name, I'll
Yeah.
make sure to spread that name
Yeah.
that he wants spread.
well, that's the funny thing is that the more guests we have, we do a lot of things off mic
Yeah.
because we're interested and we don't want to get sued. I'm not interested in spending my whatever time I do have left
in prison,
in court.
building jail bars.
So I don't want to deal with that. But it's good to know that we have guests and they come and they tell us and they'll tell us their experiences, but then they'll tell us all the other side stories about the companies and the JCs and anybody else that's out there. I mean, this week alone, I got a couple of DMs from guys where HVAC guys, mechanical guys, and he was like, check out this builder here. He's basically taking all the credit for the work that we've done and we haven't even been paid and he's refusing to pay us. And I'm like, that shit goes on all the time. And it's nice that you're reaching out to me, but I can't really I don't have that power.
There's bone to pick number 2.
Okay.
is giving your trades credit. Every time I'm on Instagram or whatever, and I come across a custom builder, and let's say this happened today actually, and there's a photo of the framing stage. Builders tagged, architects tagged, the interior designers fucking tagged.
I know.
Everyone. who framed that house? Work looks beautiful.
And
I
you're,
don't fucking know.
and you're not tagged.
And like whoever, like
It's true.
It's
I agree.
it's as simple as a pat on the back, and that's what that is. But it's respecting the guys that are doing the work for you. And honestly, if it wasn't you doing the work, they wouldn't have had
doesn't
such a
get
beautiful
done.
project.
Everyone's got a role to play.
Yeah.
Let's share the credit a little bit.
That's right. I agree.
See, those GCs, I kind of call them cafe GCs because I don't really think that they're on the tools. I think they drive by the job sites. I
Yeah.
think that they roll in the Range Rover or the brand new clean F350, whatever, and they're not really GCs in my eyes, man. GCs, you used to be one of us. If you used to be one of us, then you know what we're going through, and you know exactly what the grind was on that day, that week, that month, that weather, everything. If you know that, then you should tag us. That's it.
We spoke about this. You had brought someone in new that you never used before. You gave them an opportunity, and they didn't even give you a shout out. Not that that totally bothers you, but it's about creating that team. And he's just telling you that he doesn't care about you. So why should you care about him? So why would you want to bring him back?
I wouldn't. That's why I have a lot of enemies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with the name Don Cherry, I would too.
My name is not Don Cherry,
but I
there.
really do like the
Jackie
real Don
Gleason,
Cherry.
okay? Let's get on with this show. So,
All right.
Jesse, let's talk everything about framing, man. You got to tell us. You're young, man.
this
How
is-
long you been doing this for?
Framing full time now, 6 years, 19. No. Wow. Yeah, my math's right. 5 years. Sorry.
Wow, man, 24 years old.
So you've accomplished a lot in a short period of time. And by the way, he's got a
Not-
great tan.
Yeah, he looks like a roofer.
Not enough yet. I'm not happy yet.
Really?
I'll tell you when I am.
Okay, so tell us from the beginning what sparked it, how you got in there, and tell us how you built up Barbosa.
Getting into framing was a complete stroke of luck. You know, I did all the shop classes, everything through high school. I did wood shop, building sciences. You build
What school was that?
Cardinal Leger in Brampton.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I know that
Yeah.
school.
And then another school up in Shelburne. I moved halfway through, but I did welding class, all that. Came out, needed a job, had to pay the bills. European parents, you know, you're 18, fucking pay up. So
He's Portuguese, by the way, Carlito.
I knew it.
and I remember I went on to like Indeed or whatever one day, and I applied to like electrician, bricklayer, carpenter,
Everything.
And the first guy to call me back was actually a mason. So interview, whatever, I was going to go be a mason's laborer. Showed up to his site the first day. He never there, never came to site, never showed up. On my way back home, carpenter called me. Okay, let's have a meeting today. I got nothing better to do.
Fate.
Yeah, and here we are, X number of years later.
And then you were working for him for a little while?
That was a deck building company. I was there about 6 months, and then they wouldn't let me take a summer vacation to go see my family, so I quit. And while I was on vacation, I got a job as a framer.
Wow.
So you got a horseshoe.
Pretty much.
Every
yeah.
time there's a no, there's a yes right around the corner.
Yeah, you got to make it happen.
It's totally that's how it works, man.
So you're really young still.
you remember when you were 24?
You don't want to know about what I was doing at 24.
Prison?
So you're 24. You got 4 or 5 guys working for you now.
4, including myself, so 3.
Same age?
The oldest guy is 30, 31. One guy's the same age, and then I got a 20-year-old.
How'd you find these guys?
One is like my best friend. We got into framing around the same time, and he's like my right-hand man. If I ever do 2 crews, he's getting the crew, that kind of thing.
Nice.
The other 2 are Kijiji hires. I didn't really know where else to look for guys, and after interviewing about 30 guys, you get about 2 that are okay.
Well, we were hearing 80-to-1 ratio. You're lucky at 30-to-1, 30-to-2.
In February, I hired and fired 5
Wow.
What, on the first day?
within the first week.
What was the general reasons? Can you give us some reasons on why?
Guys would be all gung-ho at the interview, show up, and then look like a deer in headlights, asking for too much money.
Wow.
I like
More money than their age?
always.
And that's coming from
A
young guy.
24-year-old.
Yeah, any sort of trade should have no problem paying people a living wage. All my guys are living wage. I want to make sure their car payments, insurance, like they got no worries in life. Pays every Friday. You're getting your check. Here's your pay stub, whatever. The problem is a lot of guys come in, they go, oh, construction. My buddy in the union he makes pretty good money. Maybe I can go do that. And then they'll show up on a job site. They have their little Fisher Price Cooney's pouch with a trim hammer, even though they're on a framing site.
Oh my
And then-
God, that was great.
Did you just say Coonies?
whatever it is, coonies, cunnies, I don't fucking know.
No, I know.
But like one of the guys I hired and fired, he showed up. He's like, "Yeah, I've got 3 years experience. I'm ready to go. I'll see you tomorrow." Comes the next day, brand new pouch, brand new hammer, brand new tape, brand new everything. And
Wow.
so-
Brand new everything.
Yeah,
so he went shopping right away.
Right when he showed up, I was like, "Man, like clearly you fucking lied to me at your interview. Like you want $30 an hour."
And that
Like,
set an impression to you, man. That
yeah. Like,
Well, but it's funny that even at your age, and I make this joke all the time. I judge a guy by his helmet.
Yeah.
If I see a brand new helmet, I know it's a new rookie.
he wanted $30 an hour to pay off for all his new stuff.
it's
man.
the lifestyle, right? I'm guilty of it too. When I got like my first job in construction, I bought a truck before I got my first paycheck.
All right, let's get into all this because this is
Wow.
framing land, right?
Well, yeah,
so what kind of truck are we talking about here?
Oh, the beautiful white Ford Ranger. I miss it.
Ford
A
Ranger.
Ranger.
Wow.
I miss
But that's
that
not a
fucking
pickup
No,
truck.
but what are you
No, it's a
driving?
pickup. Now?
Yeah, that Ford Ranger is a pickup truck.
Is it?
What's wrong with you?
Okay.
They look like toys. It's,
Yeah.
it's like a Hot Wheels
You can
truck.
fit it inside
Okay.
your F-150.
Probably, yeah.
But what's it now?
I don't know if I can say it because everyone shit talks them.
What?
Dodge.
Oh, you got a Dodge?
I like Dodges. I got one on my farm. It won't stop.
That I fucking treat it like shit, and every morning I
But
get
it
in,
works?
It works.
You know what,
It
Jess?
works.
It's an ongoing joke. We joke about tools. We joke
Yeah.
about vehicles. It's what works for you
Oh, you
and what
think I'm
pays the
joking.
bills. Well, no, Manny's a little bit territorial about some things.
What?
But
Sprinter.
it's all it is an opinion. He's
Yeah.
allowed to have that, and I
It's
enjoy
our show.
that. Yeah. No, but I mean, everyone's allowed to have an opinion. I like all of them. They all have problems, and they're all, yeah.
No, I agree with Carlito because I bought mine because it was the one I could afford.
That was your
That-
motivating
that-
decision right
that-
there.
That was why I.
How much more was the Ford? How much more was the GM versus the Dodge?
Almost $5,000 for like a
$5,000
similar-
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that Chevy and GM are at the top of the food
Oh,
chain
those
for
new-
price.
Those new ones are gorgeous. Dude.
Yeah, and then I think it becomes Ford. Then it goes Dodge.
Yeah, but how much are those brand new ones? Aren't they getting up to like 80, 90K?
120.
What?
With
Yeah,
if you want like
my
a
dually
if you
brand
want
new
a
is
diesel,
120.
You want a diesel? Yeah, $100,000.
My buddy's got a 2500 fully loaded. It was 110,000.
I would like a 2500 though. So even like a
I
a
want you
base
to have a
one.
2500.
Even like no, it's a work truck, just a base one. I'm not
long
getting-
box, of course.
8-foot box is something I wish I
Yeah.
had.
Are you planning to get a trailer eventually?
Have one, a little 5x8.
I think Carlito's selling one of his 5.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm
If
not
you got a
selling
dump,
any.
you got a dump trailer, I'll take one.
No,
I
I would
need one.
never let go of my dump trailer. It
Yeah.
makes me too much money.
Like what you guys are talking about, job site cleanliness.
Yeah.
Right? If I have a dump trailer there that's mine and my company's, I can control that better.
Yeah.
It's one less thing. Oh, hey, call a bin. No, never mind. My fucking bin's already here.
Yeah. Manny's a little bit different than me. I will call in
I'm a
bin.
lot
I
different.
will call in bins.
I call bins all the
on
time.
the right jobs, but it's nice to have my own dump trailer
Yeah.
downtown. I could pull it in. I could leave it there. I could take it.
That's why I like the little 5x8 because it's got like the shelf, keeps all my nails, all enough guns. I got fucking like 15 nail guns in there,
Wow.
like everything. I can pick it up with the forklift, boom it around site wherever it's out of the way. I drop it down and it stays there. It's got
Wow.
admittedly 2 holes in it from forklift forks, but it's still in good shape.
Never been broken into yet?
No, thank God. No.
Why are you
Good for
jinxing
you.
this shit,
Yeah.
man?
that's-
Listen, I've been broken in so many times. I
Yeah,
hate talking
for
about
sure.
it. It bothers me, but there's douchebags out there that are taking advantage of guys that work hard. So
If I was on a subdivision, I'd never fucking leave it ever
'Cause it
But,
would be gone.
Like I vet neighborhoods, so like where we're working now is a nice neighborhood. You know, lots. It's right on a corner, lots of visibility. I know no one's probably gonna fuck with it, but if like, say like I was working like downtown Toronto, High Park area, that trailer's coming with me every day.
yeah. Well, I always wanted to get like a chimpanzee and leave them in there, and then when someone goes in there, just
Like
That's a
the
joke.
Brinks truck, a guy with a shotgun just sitting there looking at the doors.
so.
A Brinks trailer.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? That'd be sick.
Trademark that right now.
I wonder if you could buy those secondhand.
No, I'm pretty sure you can't, man. You can dissect it and figure out how it works, and then you can rob one.
You see the odd ambulance,
Wow.
like the old ambulance is a work truck. or like work vehicle.
I
I've
want to
seen
get
a
like an
couple
old
of them.
UPS truck or a FedEx truck and just have
Well,
that door open while he's
I
driving.
think this is where Manny wins the battle on this one.
What?
I chose a long box without a high ceiling, a high roof, because I like to go into condos.
Yeah.
I like condo work, commercial work.
I hate
So I
it.
end up going into undergrounds a lot. So my Chevy suits my personality.
Yeah.
But I have a pickup truck, so I'm diverse.
It's
You
just
know what I mean?
Something about a truck.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
But when it comes to cube trucks, they're so big and bulky. Those Mercedes Sprinters are brilliant. Tall, thin,
Yeah.
long.
Expensive, getting more expensive.
Yeah, but they're cool.
luxurious.
3-seaters.
The thing that turns me off from like a van setup is I am still running a business. There's times in the morning you got to go see an accountant. You got to go do this. Oh, homeowner needs 10 2x4s. Fuck it. I'm just going to go get them. Whatever. I need them. Right? With a van, if I have to be somewhere in the morning or I have to leave early, where the fuck's all the tools going? If I have a trailer
true.
on site, I can leave it there. My trusted guys each have a key. They all get a key. If I'm showing up at 7:30 or instead of 7 or 8:30 instead of 8, like they can still
You
work.
can add a trailer to the Sprinter.
But then who wants to pay that kind of gas?
Well, I mean, I think things are moving fast, but my goal is to get a gooseneck roll off. And what I want to do is I want to get a flatbed for that roll off. I want to get a cargo container for that.
That's fascinating. How about we talk about Jesse and framing?
Well, this is all leading to framing. This is where your tools go.
Well,
right?
this is trades. Trades aren't just electricians. They got a truck. They got a business.
I
to
know
run.
what he wants to do. I want to know. Like, I don't care about what he wants
so
to do.
let's get into the dirty.
Okay.
Let's go.
One
framing.
thing before we get really dirty is, did your schooling really help you in framing?
The shop classes in high school gave me, because I didn't do a college course or anything, but like the shop classes gave me that kind of very base knowledge of at least I can show up to a job site and say, yeah, I can read a tape measure, right? I didn't need the little apprentice one with all the fucking
1/16
yeah,
and 8th.
where it writes it for you what it is. I fucking hate those things.
I've never seen one of those.
Yeah,
They have
I
that?
used to
They
buy
make
them.
that?
I used to buy them for the guys all the time.
Yeah.
Why?
Because guys don't know how to read
No,
1/16
that's
to
the
1/8.
why question. Why don't they know how to read it?
Some guys just never had the opportunity.
Yeah. But like I was awful in school, high school. Like I had to do like 6 classes to graduate on time in my second semester of grade 12. Then when it came,
You also went to a tough school.
No, that's not a tough school.
It's not.
Usually
not
trade
bad.
schools are pretty tough schools.
No, it just had the shop classes. It wasn't like a
Carpentry
trade.
Leisure is not a trade school.
Okay.
It's not like Central Tech or anything. That would be a tough school.
Textbooks were from like the 70s, but other than that, it was an alright experience. Not like I read them or anything, but no. So when it came to like getting a trade and learning about the trade, all of a sudden like the math made sense to me. I could go, oh, like hey, I can square a house with Pythagorean theorem, and not just 3, 4, 5 or multiply that. If I have a wall that's 120 feet, and then the parallel the other way is only 30 feet, I can plug all those numbers in and get a perfect diagonal that's the span of the house. And that way there's no guesswork on my lines. It's no, like that's an actual large perfect square. For cutting rafters, like figuring out radiuses when plans don't give you the radius off all of a sudden, like learning that helped. Or it made sense to me. It was easy to do like stuff that in school I'd fucking skip it. And
But now you're
Fuck
seeing
that.
the connection.
once it became practical, it's easy. And I wish I paid more attention, but you know.
So basically, what you're saying, if there was a tape measure, table saw, miter saw in the classroom, you would
Yeah.
have learned math a lot easier.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I never had any of that. Like we didn't have miters. Like I was brought up on a warm drive, and I think on a real framing site, it's still
Oh,
warm drives.
Even worm drive only. I don't want to see no fucking.
It's just gonna be a
sideline.
waste of time.
Okay, speaking
Yeah.
of which, worm drive what? What do you got? Skill saw?
Worm
Yeah.
drive. Well, skill saw is the only one that's actually
That's
worm
an
drive.
actual Kleenex tissue.
Yeah.
It's, I know.
Well, no,
Sawzall.
that cordless skill saw they came out with, it's like the Mag 77,
Yeah.
but cordless, best fucking saw.
Yeah?
I don't care what the cut depth, it's heavy, fuck it, man up, use the saw.
Was it you did a post, didn't you? About cutting through all the 2x4s?
Yeah, with the big one. The
Did you see that? You didn't see that?
16.
No, I didn't.
How many did you cut?
That was like 300 or so.
300
In-
2x4?
One shot?
2x6 in
2x6.
Yeah.
One go with the saw. It's what's that? That's the big. No, that's the Bigfoot. What is that?
Bigger. It's like the saw squatch or
Yeah, that's
we,
what it
we
is.
call it the kill saw.
Yeah. It's the one that's competing against Makita's beam saw, right?
Yeah, it's a beam.
It's a 16 inch blade.
16, 5/16, something like that.
Wow,
Yeah.
It's a
sexy.
saw, man.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. When I go into the stores and I see that, I'll stare at that like a kid and looking at candy for
I know, but
an hour.
Jesse had all these 2x4s all lined up, or 2x6s all lined up, and he was cutting right through the whole thing, man. It was a great video.
On edge.
On edge.
yeah.
You know what? I apologize. I'm not following, but
That's
after
okay.
tonight, I will be.
That's fine. Maybe you'll learn. Maybe you'll learn something.
I always learn something from someone. I'm learning from something from you right now. It doesn't matter what age we're at. As long as we're serious and we really respect this industry, we're going to teach each other something, right?
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
yes,
Carlito.
nice.
We're talking to Jesse, Carlito. We're talking to Jesse, okay? So at Barbosa Carpentry, 647-227-7783. And Barbosa Carpentry at Outlook.com to give him a holler, hire him, call him, ask him a framing question. We got to do a little segment now.
Oh, is that building code talk, Manny?
Yes, it is. So
no,
Jesse,
no hard hat. 250. Final, final answer.
That's me.
you're early. You're early. No, Jesse, you probably will know these. Carlito, maybe. I'm
Wait a
not
second.
exactly sure.
I'm proud of him, though. He knew that was 250. That means you're listening.
Ask me how I know.
You got fined. I'll wait after. I'll ask after.
Okay, Ontario Building Code regarding nailing of framing.
Ooh, this will be a good one.
Floor joist to plate, toenail. What's the minimum length of nail you're allowed to use according to the OBC?
So we're talking of like a TGI or just a 2x8.
This is just states as a floor joist to plate, toenail.
Okay. Yeah, because a toenail would be in dimensional lumber.
Yes.
TGIs you can nail
True,
down to.
true enough. So I'm going to say these are dimensional numbers.
Okay. Length of nail 3 1/4. RDocs.
It comes up as 82 mil, which is 3 1/4.
Yeah, it should be spiral and
Glue.
I don't know the decimal of how thick it is, the dimension. But
Oh, I'm going to get into that.
Okay,
So
yeah, I
it's
can't-
supposed to be 16D,
okay, yeah.
16 penny, right? So the number 2 one here is wood or metal strapping to underside of floor joists. What's the length of nail you're supposed to be minimum use?
So we're talking like in a hanger or
Metal strapping to underside of, yeah. So it would be in a hanger.
that'd be a 10D 1.5 inch, or if it were
12.
anything LVL, would be the 2.5, 16.
57 mil,
Yeah.
and it's basically two and a half, basically, call it.
For all the framers out there, start putting 2.5 inch nails in your LVL hangers, please.
Instead of the because they just jumping the gun and going 3 1/4.
No, instead
Is
of
it
the inch and a half.
Inch and a half? Why do they put an inch and a half?
Because the standard hanger nail gun you can buy,
Yeah.
it only shoots an 1.5 inch nail. So for speed, in all their LVL hangers, they put.
I know,
they
but
fire
Simpson
an inch
Strong
and a-
Tie wants a longer
You
nail.
need a 2.5. at
Exactly.
least.
Cross bridging to joists.
Wait a second. And why are you saying do you need the 2.5?
It's the code. It's structural.
That's what we're talking about
Yeah,
right now.
it's
So why? How are guys getting away with it?
Because
because once the nail's driven into the hanger,
You can't tell.
Is the inspector going to pull a nail to see what
Wow.
nail
You can't
is shot?
tell.
And
Great
even
point.
still in all the angles, that's got to be a 3-inch spike. That's got to be an actual
cross ones.
The cross
Yeah.
ones. So
Yeah.
it's 2.5 in the face, and then you got to hand pound in some 3s.
Double header or trimmer joists. What's the length of nail that you're supposed to use in there?
Double header trimmer joist. 3 1/4.
3 inch
Yeah,
is the minimum.
three, yeah.
You can get away with the 3 1/4. So yeah, you brought it up already. So 16 penny is a 16D. What size is a 10D framing nail? You've already brought that
Inch
up.
and a half. Yeah, sorry, I jumped.
Exactly. No, that's fine. So it's like that's what I mean. It's like he knew all these things. You didn't know them, Carlito.
Shut up.
Now
I do
here's
now.
here's an interesting jab at the little TV show that Carlito used to be on. Can you use screws instead of nails for framing?
No shear
And
strength.
what?
Okay, but now they do have structural
Jesse's
screws.
beating me to
They
all
do,
the answers.
but if
No.
you can pay for the extra labor cost of using structural screws versus nails,
It's a
and the
sheer strength.
Okay, but you are now putting something in my mouth that is not true.
It's
And
it's a fact.
we only use screws on anything that wasn't structural.
no, you
No,
can't.
if you're framing a basement or something like Joe Homeowner,
If we're talking-
We
Yeah,
we
new
always nail anything structural. I'm not going to be even stuck in
any
that with you.
construction screw that's got a tapered head to it cannot go into any kind of hanger. Is that true or false?
true.
It's true. Yeah,
It can't.
of course.
Right now, we all know that. Okay, sure, a nail. It doesn't matter if it's Ardex or spiral, or whatever. It will possibly over time work its way out. But we also know that a screw holds better, but it has no shear strength. So you can literally knock that piece of timber that's attached
Okay,
to
but-
and it will
Well,
break
but
right
I-
off.
A lot of times, like people ask me, like homeowners, oh, how come you guys don't use screws, whatever. All you got to do is you drill a screw into the subfloor and then you hammer a nail next to it. Take your hammer, one hit, screw snaps.
Yes,
Take your hammer,
That's
hit the
the
nail,
shear.
nail bends.
exactly.
But I do want to stick up for this because there's a lot of people I've had this fight with. A lot of people have said to me, well, I see
Ding,
you guys
ding.
use screws on the show all the time. And I go, yeah, for anything that's not structural. Once it becomes any kind of point load or any kind of structural, we'd automatically go nails. And the reason we did, and I want to say something that there's
About the little show that you were on?
yeah. The reality of it is that when you're on a construction site, you're never taking anything apart. Early on in television, it was a mix of television and construction. It's two different monsters that don't mix together.
So what
okay?
you're basically saying is that the construction on TV is not real construction.
No, it is real construction. But what I'm saying to you is sometimes at the beginning of the first years, we'd find ourselves removing stuff because it was missed because it needed to be
Here
archived.
is the last
but then things
question
changed.
about.
He just hates TV so much he wants to pick at it.
Here's the last question.
I once saw your shows you used to be on's van driving by with asshole spray painted on the side of it.
Ooh.
So
Where was that?
That wasn't me.
going down the
That
highway,
wasn't me.
The 401.
Wasn't
I
me.
never saw
A
that.
number of years ago.
Last question: is advanced framing more expensive or less expensive?
The house we're framing now is advanced framing, actually, all 2-foot centers.
Is it less or more expensive?
The labor cost for me turned out to be the same because rather than, yes, it's less studs, but since it's kind of a new thing, especially in Toronto, we doubled up all the mid-span blocking.
Yes.
So rather than just straight down the center, we broke the walls into thirds and we added the extra. So the labor, it's about
They
the same.
say that it's a little less expensive than traditional framing. But you're right, though. You actually spend more time labor-wise to assemble a wall or a structure versus traditional.
But I
framing.
think it's also important to talk about when it goes 24 on center. It's not. That's more about being green. You know, you're going to spray foam. You're going to have more insulation. It's a better thermal break. It's a better.
You're talking
R
about
value.
30% less lumber.
Yeah, it's
30%.
Yeah,
it's greener and more insulation, which
And
means
that
less conduction.
was-
Building code talk with Manny the
So
hater.
We are talking to Jesse Barbosa, not Carlito, at Barbosa Carpentry, Barbosa, and you got to check it out on Instagram because he does some cool videos and some cool posts about framing. 647-227-7783 and Barbosa Carpentry at outlook.com. Let's get back to framing with Jesse.
Yeah. So can we dumb it down a little bit for some of the homeowners that don't understand the lingo that you're going to be going through right now?
Okay.
Can you take us through the beginning of
First payment, second payment, third payment,
Can you
final
can you,
payment.
Can you
Checks
start
payable,
with
Barbosa Carpentry.
Can you start with what it used to be with lumber, and then how it's progressed into eyes and
No, well, you're
timber
24 years
strand
old,
and
6
so on.
years, 5 years. You've all been TGIs. You've all been LVL.
No, I've framed conventional floors before.
Dimensional, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All the stair landings and stuff are all still conventional, right?
That's true.
There still is enough.
But you're still doing older homes as well, too. So that means you might be tying in with dimensional.
Yeah, we tie in with dimensional a lot. I mean, you can see why the old dimensional is good, right?
Yeah.
You look at the grain patterns on it. Like, it was better lumber than the lumber we have now.
Yeah.
It's
back
milled
to
too
the
soon.
Well, can you explain
Yeah.
dimensional to homeowners right now that are listening? Because it's not just contractors listening; it's homeowners also.
So dimensional lumber is 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, 2x12. Where they get you is it's actually 1.5 inches by
The nominal.
3.5, 5.5, 7.25, 10.25, 11.25.
Yeah.
It's not nominal sizes.
Maybe
Yeah,
you can
it's
answer that
the
to me
nominal.
because I don't know if anybody's ever told me that. Why do LVLs come in at 11 and 7/8, but 2x12s come in at 11 1/4?
I honestly have no idea because all the floor joists are 11 and 7/8 would be.
I know, but
would
the
be
TGIs
reason
are
why.
11 and 7/8. But
Yeah.
then when you're doing an older home and you have to go a 2x12 at some areas because of the older structure,
the older
then you got to go
structure.
the LVL.
Yeah,
You got a big,
you create a bulkhead.
yeah.
Essentially, you have to.
It's
There's no
just
other
stupid,
way.
right? Or you rip it down, right?
Yeah, well, they make like 9.5 LVLs, 7.25 LVLs. You get
Yeah.
for tall walls 5.5 LVLs. They go all the way. The biggest I've seen is like 2 feet, 24-inch LVL.
I've never seen a 24-inch LVL.
A ridge beam and a
pretty crazy,
and a
man.
hand cut roof.
Whoa. What's the span on a 24-inch LVL? What the
Fuck, I think that one went almost
25.
I did a
I
16
think it was-
LVL and it
yeah.
went as far as 31 feet.
I think I think we were 30.
16, 4-ply.
Yeah, the guys, everyone complains about like when
You can't that's
well, the way I see like guys complaining on a job site, you priced the house, you knew what was going into it. How come when it comes time
That's
to
not a
put
surprise.
put in the 24-inch
Yeah,
LVL, you're
that's
like,
not a
oh
surprise.
fuck, this is stupid. Fucking engineer doesn't know shit. You signed up for it. Nobody held a gun to your head and said, do this job.
What's some of the craziest things you've ever seen on drawings?
On drawings, in terms of like cool
Just
details,
just
or
details, anything kind of interesting detail. Like, I mean,
Oh.
the other day I saw on a drawing, front of the house on the top third floor, the engineer was requesting a 5-ply 12 LVL.
Yeah. That's for the ridge.
That was just for the face sitting on an exterior wall, on a 2x6 wall.
Wow.
And I don't know why it was in the drawing, but then the
Yeah.
engineer took it out of the drawing saying we don't need that. So why'd you ask for a 5-ply?
Yeah, I don't-
And let me and I want to talk about that. Why would you put it in a drawing and then take it out? It's in the drawing. It
Here's
needs
the
to be
problem.
done.
Here's the problem that I have with. Okay, I can't group all of the engineers in the same boat because I actually have one massive favorite one that I do, because when he arrives on site, his little leather bag has got everything he needs in there. He's got the
Yep.
measuring tapes, he's got the tables, he's got all that stuff, and he's not afraid to actually put the bag down, grab all the items that
Yep,
he needs,
dude.
and actually measure, calculate, draw, do a sketch,
Yeah,
calculate.
no.
Those are the engineers that I love.
Yeah, because there's the other guys where they pull up in the Porsche.
Oh,
yeah, looks good. Drive away in the
but
Porsche.
before that, they're on the phone saying, you don't want me to come by the job site because it will be, oh my God, is that your phone?
What the hell was that?
What are you talking about? It was a seagull, you idiot. That's a seagull. It is summer, you know.
So there's the other engineers that, like you said, they'll just pull up and all of a sudden they'll before that, they're on the phone saying, no, you don't want me to come by the job site because it's a site visit cost
Yeah.
and all that. I go, dude, man, come to the job
Well,
site.
not to deviate from the question, which I'll answer, but when I reached out to you about the little Simpson bracket,
Yeah.
right?
That's your phone.
The
It's a
seagull.
seagull.
Anyways, about the Simpson bracket. So we did a house where it was like a structure. We basically built a traditionally framed home within a double brick,
Double white
exterior.
brick, yeah.
We're setting everything. It's all LVL ledgered off, and I go, well, what's supporting these brick walls between the floors?
Nothing.
And the engineer was on site, and he looked at me. He goes, "You seem smart. You'll figure it out."
Whoa. Is that what he actually said?
That's what he said.
And that's the same thing that engineer said. He says, you can put that if you want.
Yeah, like, well, what do you mean? You're the guy. So
I called up Simpson and I had a really long talk about it, and I explained the whole situation, explained the age
Yeah.
of the house, the situation, the addition that was put on the front, the back, the top, whatever. And he was like, yeah, you definitely should. And then the second engineer that came in, he goes, yeah, you definitely. I'm going to
100%.
request for 3. 2 on the actual height of the joist, or stud, sorry. 2 on the height of the stud, and then 1 on the very top, grabbing the top plate.
Yeah,
the bottom of the second top plate.
yeah, we ended up doing like 32 centers on like both axes, so going horizontally and
We were
vertically.
flown around a little bit because
Yeah.
sometimes we would get one, drill the Tapcon, and the brick would just
Yeah,
break.
yeah.
But then, we all know the trick about the wire, right? So
Yeah.
you go up to the electrician, they go, hey, you got any scraps here? What's going
A
on?
little bit of tie wire.
Give me a little wire. And that's all.
I saw someone-
Portuguese Topcon, man.
Exactly.
Nail
Honestly.
with the-
It's crazy. I saw someone do that with a range the other day, and I was like, I can't believe I just saw that happen.
What do you mean a range?
He wanted to go into the wall. The actual butterflies that he was using
Were
didn't
crap.
work, so he took the screws and he wound wire on them so it would grab. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm seeing that. I got to walk away, man. And I'm like, you know what you're doing right now? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, I'm walking away.
But back to cool details or details in homes, like everything. I don't know if I lucked out this year or won the lottery, but it's all been hand cut roofs. Everything's hand cut.
Hand cut
Like,
roofs.
Traditionally, that's
You
Is
know
that
what?
your favorite?
that's
prefer-
the niche I want to carve for myself, because so many guys don't know how to do that efficiently.
Nope.
Because you can do it, tape measure each one. It gets the same job, but or you can learn the proper production techniques and all that, and you could cut the time it takes to do it in half. And I think you get a better finish than a truss roof. 10 times out of 10.
I agree with you.
I feel bad for drywallers who have to go do a coffered ceiling on a truss roof.
You know that uplift is actually in the building code.
Yeah, it's terrifying when you can.
Why is uplift in the building code? You basically, the mistake that you make by using an engineered piece of structure.
Okay, explain that for the homeowner.
Yeah, uplift.
Basically, the engineered design truss is designed in a warehouse or in a computer first, and then assembled on a rack, and then just hand stapled together, right? Then it gets on the site, and all of a sudden, the framers built all the walls the same height because they've used all the heights. And then you drop the trusses on, and all of a sudden there's a gap.
Yeah, I've seen.
Why is there a gap?
I've seen uplift in trusses. Like you could take a fist.
No, that much?
Yeah, and
That must have been for a porn house.
So, but why is that happening?
Because the thing is, when you assemble a truss on a rack system, they don't have their 2, 3, 4, the 3, 4, 5. They don't have. It's just being put together by the computer cut all the wood, which is we talked about this with Waddell Engineering, where they're using what was it, first grade 2x4s. But when you assemble it all together, there is some, depending on the span of the truss, they're not perfectly straight. That's the thing about it. And then you drop it on a perfectly straight framed house, and it looks like the framer made a mistake. And it's not. It's uplift.
And that's horrible because framers do make a lot of mistakes with the wood they choose. And why is that happening? Is it you just use whatever you have on site?
Are you speccing out your material list? Or you?
I will do a takeoff most times, but I have to have a deposit first. I fucking hate when people go, "Oh, can you just do a takeoff with your price?" And it's like, why am I going to waste my time with that?
That takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
man.
right. It's a lot of effort just for them to go, sorry, buddy's $1,000.
How often? Like how long on average does it take you to do a takeoff?
A full house, I'll probably sit down 5 to 8 hours. It would take to do we're talking like a 3,000 to 5,000 square foot house, right?
The average build, and it takes time. They don't understand that. That's basically a day's wage,
pretty much, just to do takeoffs.
When you're going through the wood, do you just use whatever's in the pile, or do you choose the good wood and return the bad stuff?
There's a couple of lumber reps who I'm pretty close with at various different lumber yards, and they know.
Who do you like?
Who do I like?
Yeah, which one
am I allowed to say?
Sure,
yeah, of course. Positive things are always good to say.
Okay, yeah. I like dealing with Turkstra, like out kind of Oakville areas, really good. They like the customer service, next to none. My sales rep there, fantastic guy.
Good to hear.
I liked Rona in terms of like the big box stores.
Really?
Yeah.
Until the job we're on now.
I got a couple of Rona stories.
You know what? I was just about to say, Manny's gonna get into it.
I remember my sales rep telling me, "Listen, Manny, it's not like ordering a pizza." And then that was the last time we ever worked together.
Well, for us on this one, it's like you didn't look at the drawings. Like, so to maximize like their house height, right? Because everyone wants to be right up against the line.
Of course.
All of our stud heights are non-standard. Right, so that's why I was cutting all the studs with the big saw. Right, so rather than measure and cut every one, you can rack them all, cut them at the same time. They're perfect every time. Now, the first load of lumber they sent me was 104 5/8 for 9-foot walls. Walls aren't 9 feet tall. I needed 10 footers. I told him I needed 10 footers. He knew.
So they sent the wrong lift.
Then when we're sheeting our first floor, we're halfway through a fucking bundle of 5/8 tongue and groove. It switches to 3/4.
Whoa!
What?
How did that magically happen?
My guy put a sheet down. We couldn't hit it in. I'm like, oh, did you fucking put that sheet upside down? You know better than this.
I know. We've done that mistake before.
And then we look and we're like, fuck, that's 3/4. And then the rest of the lift, like 60 sheets, all 3/4.
So what did the rep say?
He replaced it for us, and then what they replaced it with, obviously the next day, so they're go, fuck my production, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. The next day, it was the worst tongues and grooves I've ever seen on plywood.
What do you mean, just all hit with every single tongue and groove that was hit with a forklift?
It's like the guy on the Moffat just raked his forks up it.
Oh my God.
He's probably like practicing for like, I don't know, putting hockey cards in the spokes. I don't know.
That's probably what it sounded like when he was fucking raking up all the grooves.
So I noticed that both of you guys talked about flipping the plywood. What is happening there that the nail's not going through?
Flipping the...
You were saying...
Well, Carlito.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So the tongue... So every plywood sheet, there's an up and there's a down. And it says right on it, this side down.
Down.
Wait a second, it does?
But why is it that sometimes I see this side down up? Am I on China? What's going on here?
Somebody wasn't paying attention.
I see that in concrete board a lot too.
It's just the way that like the tongue and groove line up, right?
Now listen, I'm going to do this.
Well, it's the final fail safe that you put it in wrong, that the tongue and groove is not in the center of the board.
Yeah.
So you know that if it's not going in, that means it's upside down. And plus the signage that says, "Hey idiot, it's upside down."
Stamped on it,
They
upside down.
should change it to, "Hey idiot, it's upside down."
Maybe they should make a color code.
No, that won't work.
Hey, everyone like their Allen keys, all those little hand tools that they color code them. Name one person who knows what the blue one is. I don't. I read it 3/8. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no, you're right.
Color
Yeah, that's a
coding
good
makes
point.
things fucking worse.
That's
I don't
a
know
good
why
point.
people.
Okay, before you ask, I got to ask, who taught you?
Who taught me how to frame? I am by far the luckiest framer in the world, I think, in terms of who I had to work under. So like you guys say, oh, 24, whatever. Very much of it is because of the people I've worked with. The guy's never going to hear this podcast. He's probably in Newfoundland on a boat right now. But the crew that taught me, like, it was in a subdivision, but he gave a shit. So I learned something, and I knew how to do things the right way. Mike Power is his name.
Mike.
It was me at like 20 years old, and then 3 Newfies. If I can say Newfies. Sorry.
Of course
Yeah,
you
of
can say
course you
Newfies.
can.
3 Newfies.
You know we're equally racist across the board.
well, the non-Portuguese side for me is all from Cape Breton Island, and they're just Newfies who ran out of money on their way to Toronto, so it's all good.
Now we're going to get in trouble.
They're the hardworking ones, though.
So Mike Powell?
Power. Yeah.
So he actually taught you.
Taught me everything. He was an angry fucker. Like
How old? Our age?
At the time, 42. So
Okay.
probably like,
our age.
around there. Yeah.
Great.
And like,
Can you tell me who he was building for as a builder?
we were in Rosehaven, a lot of Rosehaven sites. Gold Park and Kleinberg. We put up quite a few houses there.
So what made him good? What made him a good teacher?
Anger.
Wow.
Really?
I like having a chip on my shoulder, and I think he kind of, so when I was learning to cut rafters, right? You got to cut them, you got to toss them up. If I threw up a rafter and it hit the truss on the way up and fell back down, he'd look at me and go, did your fucking dad never play catch with you growing up? Throw the fucking thing.
It changed things for you, though.
Yeah, if I cut a rafter wrong, he wouldn't hand it down to me, just drop it. Hopefully I was looking. This doesn't fit, drop it. No heads up.
Proper lessons, man.
Yeah, and it learned.
School of hard knocks.
It taught you had to be quick. If I bitched too fucking much, here's an actual good Mike story. When I earned a raise, he wouldn't tell me. His theory was if he told me he was going to give me an extra buck, I'd stop working hard for that buck. It would take me noticing, hey, like, I got paid like 80 extra bucks, right? He'd go, oh yeah, I gave you a raise. He wouldn't tell me.
That's clever, actually.
One time.
I like that.
One time, I guess maybe I earned a raise. I don't know what it was. But he looked at me and says, if you don't say a fucking word today, I'll give you an extra buck an hour. All day. I don't want to hear you fucking talk. Just working. No bitching, no moaning, just work. I'll give you an extra $1 one day.
Did you get the extra $1?
I was hitting an LVL beam into place, hit my knee, went, motherfucker. And he goes, that counts.
I like this guy. Can we bring him on the podcast?
He's on a boat somewhere.
We'll find him.
Probably, yeah. And like
That
if
counts.
you can understand him, very, very thick news.
Hey,
like,
bye.
very no, like different. It's a different kind of English.
So you lucked out by how did you find him?
Kijiji actually.
Really?
He was
What?
hiring.
Don't say that again.
No, sorry. If you look right now, search framer. There's like 80,000 guys, all framing crew available, framing crew. And I tell my guys that, I go, hey, feel very lucky right now because there's a lot of fucking guys out there
Looking for work.
And it's busy as fuck right now. Obviously, that's like
For the good guys.
There's a reason
Or-
you're looking for work,
Yeah.
obviously, right? But
And I shouldn't say for the good guys, but the guys that have stayed busy and known how to keep their business.
yeah. So, but yeah, like I spent a couple years in the subdivision there with him. It was great. But just due to like an age barrier and everyone was older than me, when it came time, I was like, hey, I'm going to lay out these walls. Let's go. He'd be off in his telehandler somewhere and, I'd start laying out walls. He'd come back. He'd go, who laid out the walls? I go, oh, I did. He goes, if one fucking window's in the wrong spot, go home.
Wow.
And when it came time to that, I was like, well, I think I'm done learning. I'm not going to be able to advance to that next level here. So a guy on Instagram who did custom homes was hiring. I went and worked with him. And then I learned how to take the production techniques I learned in subdivisions and then apply that to the finesse required in a more custom environment.
And who was he?
PTR Carpentry. Paul
Get
Richardson.
the fuck out of here. That's who I was going to have next on here.
Really?
Yeah, he's the next guy on.
Fuck you, Paul. I beat you.
That's hilarious. I swear, Manny's been asking me to fucking bring him on, and I'm like, I've been so
That's
busy.
why I remember you when you told me about him, and I was
Yeah,
like,
you
why does
said-
that name
you said
sound
you knew him.
familiar? And
I
then-
gave you the number
That's
already.
what it
yeah.
is,
We
yeah.
just haven't called him yet. He's
That's
coming on. That's
funny.
hilarious.
Perfect. He drives me insane.
You know what? He is so well spoken about. So one of my best friends, which is Blake, this another guy
I
now.
built a deck for Blake.
No way.
Through PTR.
He is very particular. He came from the framing world.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him on the podcast, and he's just been so busy with the show
There's
and
legal
his own
issues and
business
stuff
and
like
everything
that.
else.
Yeah, because he is on.
Yeah.
he is on the show.
So, and that's where I met him. I did the High Park project with him, and then he came on the show,
Yeah.
and then we became like best friends. But he speaks of Paul so highly and his guys.
Yeah.
So it's great to know that you're part of that crew.
Incredibly knowledgeable, very good teacher. He gave me a shot to kind of take the lead on the first crew I ever led. Didn't end the greatest. I was a little shit, but on
Well, you are still
but,
young.
but you learned a lesson. Though.
I learned, and he kind of gave me the keys and said, "Go build these houses as the second crew." When the opportunity came, yeah, I owe those two guys right there. I owe a lot to.
Wow,
for
man.
sure.
What a
Now,
small world.
I put my stickers. I got company stickers everywhere. This is funny. This is why I say "fuck you, Paul." I put one good shout out. Can I shout out a
Of
company?
course you can.
Anybody good, you
yeah.
shout out, please.
Complete Equipment in Mississauga. Bob's the owner. He's
I know of them.
Yeah. Best place tool repair. Best place to buy.
I go to
nails.
Bob all the time.
Yeah, Bob. My sticker's on Bob's fucking wall, and then Paul put his sticker under it. First, he covered my sticker,
That's hilarious.
and then Then I took it off. And nice guy. I just restuck his sticker under it. Later, I went in. He'd cut out his phone number perfectly from one of his stickers.
Oh, man.
Left it on mine, and just covered the phone number.
He's brilliant, man.
And like,
But you know what? Bob's brilliant also.
Oh
Yeah.
man, sticker
Yeah.
racism, eh? What's
Yeah,
going
I
on
love it.
here?
I love it.
Oh my
no,
goodness.
I got my first house as my own company through Bob, a recommendation.
Did you buy one of his mini trucks from the front?
No, that's the tire place. No, all my nail guns, everything serviced there. My compressor, everything I can buy from him, I do. The other place, your guy's favorite, Tony, Mississauga Hardware. Yeah,
I got about a $7,000 generator I bought from him,
Yeah.
DeWalt. I bought all my nail guns from him.
What's that for, a sewing
all
machine?
all my air compressors are
Yeah.
all from Bob.
yeah. He's the best guy.
Yeah.
Like good.
He's
good,
a wicked guy.
Yeah.
He becomes your friend. He's not. You don't just
Oh.
go into that store.
Yeah.
Actually, we want to have Bob on here. We were speaking
We
about
were talking
bringing-
about it.
You
Yeah.
should bring him on. That guy's got stories.
You know what?
out
You're
the
surrounded by really amazing people. I'm really
Yeah.
excited about having
But the
you
question
on
is,
right now.
did you do
That's
that on purpose or just strictly by accident, just pure luck?
There's some control. Make your luck happen. There's
Yeah.
some like you can't. Like I remember, like first going out on my own, I'd pussyfoot around a lot. You know, you'd show up to a job. Like I'd show up, I'd see a foundation. Obviously, at that point, foundation's in. They've got a framer. Fuck it. And I'd park outside the job site. I'd sit there, and be like, "Okay, go talk to the builder. Go talk to the builder." Like psych yourself up to it. And then eventually you realize, like, if I want to fucking eat, no, you have to do this. Eventually you're gonna get a house. At the start, like it was all shit jobs, additions, stuff nobody else wanted to do, and I was happy to have them. And then eventually, like Instagram, all that, you know who's who, you learn, and you have to put yourself in situations where you can meet those people, befriend those people. If it's an actual like good relationship you build with them, the good things come of it, right?
That's, every opportunity is good. So you finally got out of the truck and went to talk to somebody.
Eventually.
Yeah. No, I can understand it. It could be intimidating, man.
So-
Even a young, old, whatever.
Well, so I'm not gonna say who, but like when I first went out of business, like I asked some guys around for tips. How'd you start? What'd you do? And they just go, lie about your age. Don't fucking tell no one.
I've heard that from a lot of young guys.
And I mean, my fucking hairline's gone, but I think I look 24. So what's the lie? Why are you going to start off a business relationship with a lie?
I rather, yeah, you know what?
No,
It's
you carry
that's a solid
yourself
point.
very professional.
Yeah.
They either like you or they don't. I don't think your age really
Nope.
matters much.
No, I think it's the first day when you get on there and you prove yourself. If you're
Yeah.
a bullshit, you're right. If you had a lie going in and all of a sudden you're on that first date, look at you. You fired how many guys because of that first date, first week?
Yeah, I kept guys on for too long because I'd learn about their personal lives and I'd feel bad. can't run a business like
You
that.
can't. That's a different segment, and I don't
Yeah.
like. I'm harsh about that. I go, listen. I don't give a shit about your personal life.
Yeah, I don't care about.
I'm sorry.
I personally
I
don't
don't.
care if you have a mortgage. I don't care if you don't have a car. I don't. I just expect you to sign in,
Send
do
your
your
hate
job,
mail
and
to
go
Carlito.
home. Go home. You know.
Speaking of which, this has been fascinating so far, but we got to take a little break.
We haven't
for
even started yet.
Carlito's Green Book talk.
Well, before we start with Carlito's Green Book talk,
And I'm
I
gonna
want to
say
do a big
550.
shout out to Mark at Skylux for always having us here and allowing us to have home base here.
Thanks, Mark, for Skyluck.
He is really our biggest supporter. He's made a lot happen for us and given us all a place to unwind and educate and talk about construction. So
Thanks for not hiring one of my best guys last week.
He
Mark.
has a really. You know what? Tell him. Tell Carlito.
this before
Tell
we do
Carlito.
book talk.
One of my guys, really good 20-year-old kid, fucking fan, hardest working guy. I love him.
From Italy.
From Italy, yeah, from Italy.
But you're Portuguese.
There's no hate on my crews. Everyone picks up, everyone sweeps, everyone nails. Doesn't matter.
joking, man.
No, but he was discouraged. He roofed before, and he was all discouraged, whatever, about framing. He was, making. I guess he thought he was too slow or this, that. So he came here for an interview, and then, thankfully, he smartened up and was like, "Yeah, framing's better. So I want to frame."
So he was almost working for Mark, but he ended up working for Jesse.
Small world, man. You are
It's-
like 6 degrees from all of us. It's crazy, man.
It is time for Carlito's Green Book talk.
So I tried to find something interesting.
Here we go. There's always an explanation at the
I
beginning.
figured you're framing, so there's always going to be a crane on site. There's going to be a forklift. There's going to be something.
Always a telehandler.
Yeah. So first offense, and I do want, after I finish this, I want to know how much you paid for your first fine with your helmet, because I have a funny feeling
okay.
you had a fine with your helmet. But we'll talk about that. So, Section 103-2.
Is that
worker
Section 103-2?
passing crane or similar hoisting device load over another worker?
You've done this one,
No,
man.
dude. I cross over all my paperwork.
That's got to be a 550, man. You're endangering someone's
Yeah,
life.
that's a machinery going over a
Yeah.
brain. I'm going to say 550.
I was expecting no harness, no rope on the roof.
Oh, how about those ones?
I researched those ones before I came, so I was covered.
test. 550.
You know what? We've been flying through a lot. I don't have many of these left. I have to go to the second offense now.
550.
You're both wrong. It's 250. But I would like to find out how you found out 250 was for the helmet.
For the helmet, by getting one.
And what was
The good old
what was
MOL
the
showed up,
incidents
eh?
for people to learn from it?
Pardon me, sorry?
Just so people can learn from it, you have a fine, and I'm glad that you're.
It counts against your driver's license. Like, you can get really, really fucked by not paying
It
those.
counts against your driver's license?
To my knowledge, that's what I was told. They're like, you have to pay that, or else when you go to renew your stickers,
Oh,
because
that
it's,
way.
it's government, right?
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's all in the same thing. To my knowledge, as
and
far
you
as I
paid
know.
250.
Yeah,
Did the supervisor of the site pay 500 or 5,000?
I was like green as can be. I
Okay.
have no idea.
Well, pretty soon I'm almost out of first offenses, so we'll be going to second, and they're much larger than 550.
I know now as like the business owner, it just cascades upwards
Yes.
in
Yeah.
terms of responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
goes up to 50 grand plus, man.
Yeah. Like,
So we are talking to Jesse at Barbosa Carpentry on IG. You're only on IG? You're not on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube?
no,
No, just IG.
just IG. I'd like
Six-
a YouTube channel. That'd be sick.
Do a YouTube channel. Start making more of those videos and post it on YouTube. 647-227-7783 and Barbosa Carpentry at outlook.com. It's Barbosa. Carlito, let's get back to Jesse. And,
Yeah,
you know
okay,
what?
so-
Well, let's get into framing, man.
Yeah,
Let's
we
get
don't have
into-
much time with you, and I want to really kind of squeeze your
We
brain.
still have more than a half hour.
So we always like to talk about the trade before you being the trade.
Yeah.
So your trade before you would be the concrete and foundation.
Foundation.
What are the biggest problems you have from concrete guys not leaving you ready? What slows you down before you start framing?
Oh fuck, no backfill. I fucking hate when someone. I know it's not related to concrete, but when
But you're told to get on site with no backfill?
all the time.
That's against the law too, isn't
That's
it?
a GC
I
situation.
have it written in my contract that I will not start until backfill is done, and if it's not done properly, that's a back charge.
Wow.
every
Dun, dun, dun.
every time. But
And so that's a fair back
it's,
charge.
you know how hard it is to square a foundation
You can't.
and stuff
It's
off
a pain in the
ladders?
ass. You
It
can't do- and it's
sucks.
dangerous, too.
And it's dangerous, yeah. Aside from that, concrete, guys, the biggest barrier to us lately with the new Ontario building code, with that inch of foam or R5 on the outside, or the zip system, the 1.5 inch,
Yeah.
they don't put their bolts far enough back on the foundation to account for that.
Why are you guys still doing that? Because I've been a huge fan of Simpson Strong Ties Titan bolts, man, where you don't need to put J bolts in the concrete anymore.
Cost. It's got to be a
Man,
labor,
a
labor
Titan bolt
cost thing.
costs-
No, but you're right. It's better to be able to control that and do whatever you need.
Yeah.
to.
Drill it. It's a 1/2 inch SDS, and then you drive it right in with a 1/2 inch impact, and it's done, and it's tight, and it's strong, and it's engineered.
But another thing too is from a GC point of view, it's actually cheaper because you're not wasting rebar and you're not paying the rebar guy to do that now,
Well,
right?
and you're not paying that special framer who knows how to do a really interesting diamond hole in
Yeah.
the sill plate to try to get all them lined up.
Yeah, no diamond hole. It's a 5 or 1/2
These
inch.
are ones that I've seen way.
Yeah.
I'm like, what-
yeah, with like the
what-
skill saw,
yeah,
right? You just
what
carve
is-
out a
what is
diamond.
that,
no,
man?
no, the bolt is a 1/2 inch. We drill a 5/8 hole.
That's
gives
it.
you
That's
that
all you need.
Little bit of play.
Yeah.
But no, I know guys like they do like a 7/8 hole and they just use a bigger washer. Like no, that
We know that.
Yeah,
what do you
no.
use for sill gaskets, or do you just put the lumber directly on?
No, you can't.
You have to. Yeah.
I'm asking
Oh,
questions.
it's a trick question.
Yeah.
You're going to ask him a trick question?
This
So-
is about learning.
Yeah, so on the current house, since it's passive and it's going to be airtight on the outside, there's only a sill gasket, is like a capillary
Styrofoam.
break. Yep, styrofoam.
Okay. How thick?
5 mil, like a 5 mil.
Okay.
poly,
You'll
something
be
like that.
glad to know that Hans is actually
Yeah.
on the project that he's on.
What?
Consulting
Yeah.
on
I
the
have a-
passive.
Dude, you are really 6 degrees from
I know.
everything we're
It's
talking
funny,
about,
man.
and everyone
I know,
we're
it's
talking
funny.
about.
Yeah.
Wow, you're good people, man.
Get Hans to do a little techno beat, man.
Yeah, he kind of cool
German
guy. He
technology.
was on site last Friday, and I was like, "Oh, guess what? Like, I'm gonna be on the construction life." And he's like, "Been there, done that."
Well, you know, we are being known as the construction Tinder, man. We keep on introducing people because you're also saying that you talked with George from DGR.
No, I didn't. I haven't talked. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
that episode. Some of what they introduced of like,
What he
how
was
to
saying.
run a business.
Yes.
I implemented that to myself. Like,
And what was that had turned around for you?
It's like little mini efficiencies. Like, why? Like, no, don't go get diesel for the forklift in the morning of and be 5 minutes late. You're the boss. You got to be there first. Just go after work. Put the jerry cans in your truck. Be ready in the fucking morning. Little things like trusting guys. Like, I don't understand. Maybe I'm insane, but how they can run a company that big, but they trust people to run their crews and all that. Like, it's just the way that they run things there.
They build a team.
Yeah, like so like for me,
Family more to me.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
They do so we do when we hit production goals. I do a barbecue. I buy steaks, hot dogs, whatever.
Well, and
Right?
and I don't know if you're looking around, but Mark does the same thing.
Yeah.
If his guys meet that budget and they get to share a certain percentage.
I
of
don't
that.
understand why Carlito goes over there. You want to know, okay, where's the Kijiji Indie application for Barbosa Carpentry? Because I want a barbecue.
Not in,
And
No.
and by the way, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
for bringing us dinner.
Oh,
and
man.
No
Portuguese
problem, boys.
chicken
I know.
with the round potato and a lots of rice with the wine. Is
no, I
that
thought-
Italian?
Portuguese.
I was making an Italian accent. That's what I meant.
No, thank you, Jesse. Really.
Yeah, that was
nice.
amazing,
No
dude.
problem, boys.
Where were we? Sorry, I interrupted. I always interrupt him, but no, DGR. So it's
Yeah.
true. DGR shared it, and the same with Mark from Craigmore. He had a lot of great insight for his business, and he's young
Yeah.
as well too. So we love that the guys are all communicating. And I just got a DM the other day from Chris at Maple Leaf Construction.
That
and
was
he,
a good one.
He reached out to Matt Turnkey, and he went by there.
Get the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
he went by there.
The turnkey one was good.
Matt,
too.
yeah,
All
Matt
good
had
guys.
smart guys, man. So it's all really good. We're construction
There's-
Tinder.
Wow,
Construction
man, that's
Tinder, man.
fucking great.
Like with like the show like this and Instagram, YouTube, like there's no reason to turn a blind eye to anything.
No, you
anymore,
can't.
If that's the right terminology.
No, you can't. So let's get
Like,
back to what Carlito
yeah.
was asking about. Okay, so the foundation guys, backfill. What else you seen? What else you
No, it's good that
expecting?
you're using sill gas because I see a lot of framers not using them.
No, the only real debate there within my crew is on a more traditionally framed house. When you do the Tyvek wrap, what goes first, gasket or Tyvek? Nobody can seem to answer that question.
I would say gasket first.
Gasket goes first.
To me, gasket makes sense because that's the capillary break. But then people go, "Oh no!" But
No. It's gasket because Tyvek breathes.
Yep.
So if it breathes, it's going to wick into wood. So gasket first, Tyvek
Well,
second.
I've always put gasket on first, and then, but I don't like Tyvek. I'm a blue skin guy, but yeah. Teach his own. I'm glad you're not using 6 mil plastic.
I put on the house what I get paid to put there.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
what's
That's
your
true.
go-to? What's your preference?
My preference right now, like a really nice Tyvek job, I think looks good. If you keep all like writing
Tight
up, right
and
up,
tape.
tight, staple it properly. Use the blue tape, not the red stuff.
Red tape is garbage. The only reason you use red tape is for broken taillight.
It's not. It's $1 cheaper. That's why.
Well, you're not supposed to use it anymore,
no,
right?
you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
no.
$1
The only reason you're
cheaper.
supposed to use it is on taillight, broken taillight.
Or the back windshield.
Or
That's it.
or someone's car and in a parking lot that's parked in 2 spots.
yeah.
I want to know a little bit. Can you give us some details on that passive house that you're working on regarding the framing with the wall assembly?
Yeah. So right now the house we're working on it's a passive house. We're going to do all the blower door tests, everything like that. That's why we have guys like Hans to like really nail those air sealing details right from the get-go. Our wall assembly is advanced framing, so it's all 2-foot centers. We've been very careful this whole build to make sure our layout does stack. Floor joists are on 16 centers. Walls are 2-foot centers. So on all our exteriors, that means every 4 studs,
You're lining
hits
up.
a
Lands on a
joist.
24.
That's just for a structural thing, right? Because like advanced, no one really does.
You'll get a
advanced
point
framing.
load. You have a point load
you get-
opportunity every
on,
4 feet.
On a normal house, it should all stack. Always.
Are you-
should?
Are you
Always.
using sealant caulking in between all this? Or are you
No.
using caulking?
I'm going to get to that.
Sorry.
So our wall assemblies, 2x6 framing, 2-foot centers, 1/2-inch plywood. All the seams on the plywood are taped. And then what goes over the plywood is this product called Gutex. It is a 6-inch wood fiber insulation, basically. It's got great soundproofing, great
It's 6 inches thick.
6 inches.
What's
on
the
top.
size of this sheet?
2 feet by 4 feet, and then it's tongue and groove. So it's all.
is
it's
this
all
the
direct.
rigid board you're
Wow.
talking about?
No, it's wood fiber. It's
For the
not
plywood?
No, for the outside of the plywood. Our
Okay.
outside insulation is 6 inches.
I'm gonna guess this is a German product.
Yes, as to my knowledge, we're the first like framing crew in Canada. That's
I'm
gonna get to
interested in
work
that
with.
product. I want
Yeah.
to know more about that product.
Was the footing or the structural wall larger? Or
Yeah,
is it?
It's 10. It was.
A
It's
balloon?
10 inches right now.
Okay.
So then we lift our wall. You run the sheeting down so it all locks in, right? So that bottom sheet should always lock into the
Yep.
floor below.
Yep.
Or on the second floor down to the top plate of the wall.
By how
before.
much?
By how much?
Yeah, by how many inches?
As close as you can get it to tight to the foundation. Obviously, it's
Yep.
bumpy, right? So then that seam, the foundation's blue skinned, right? And so then that seam from the wall to the foundation will get taped, and then that gives us our air tightness, our exterior insulation, our weather barrier, all in this one assembly. Oh, and we put 1x4s, the strapping for the siding on first.
So he's already preparing
really,
for
yeah?
the.
Well, to lock in the 6-inch Gutex.
Yeah, because
right?
it's so
Yeah,
deep.
so we're going to use a 10-inch GRK.
Yep,
and
to
then
drive it through.
all the way into a stud. So
Got it.
Some people might, but on this house specifically, we're snapping lines on our plywood so we know where a stud is.
It's funny. I was at an event that Hans was at.
Okay.
It was a green event.
Yeah.
And he was one of the guest speakers talking about that, trying to figure out how far can we actually go out.
Yeah.
Because everyone that is in building science or passive or trying to build tighter, better,
Yeah.
is always looking at that material that stops the transfer of temperature on the exterior, not on the interior. But we've been building since day one in North America with all the insulation
All the
on the
inside,
inside.
which we now know is wrong.
Which is wrong, exactly.
And I wanted to ask, like, it's brilliant that he's what we call it a ledger plate or a rim plate.
Yeah.
He's covering that up, and that's where the break is for the
Yeah.
insulation,
Well,
and that's
he's
where
over-
most
he's
of the problems
overlapping it.
are.
He's
Yeah.
overlapping all those
No,
points.
I'm saying
Yeah.
it's brilliant,
Yeah.
and the greatest part is that you understand what you're building and why you're building it for the
Yep.
next trade. So you're actually respecting the next trade.
Somebody should trademark that.
Just someone. One day. To me, anyways, that's the future. Like, this is the future of building it. Maybe not in my career lifetime, but
No, I definitely think so.
my hope, because like these houses we build now, it was on one of the last episodes. There's like a 25-year, maybe Hans's episode. It's like a 25-year lifespan of that house,
Yeah.
and then it gets renovated. I hope I'm in the fucking ground before anything I've ever built gets torn
Gets
down, renovated.
I know.
Anything. I don't. If when I'm older, I drive by a house that I've built and I see a backhoe out front ready to tear it down, I'm gonna chain myself to the fucking house.
Oh, you're a tree hugger, right?
No, he's a house hugger.
No, it's-
yeah,
and-
house hugger. Custom home house
And
hugger.
if people really knew the value of what they were building, and it's not just for you to flip in a year and make your fucking money, the whole industry would change.
You know what? And this is what money brings a problem with. People don't respect a good build. They just want to knock something down that's already built well.
I find selling good framing is incredibly difficult because it gets covered. At the end of a job, when they do that final walkthrough, everything I've done is covered. Nobody
Okay.
sees what I do.
You know what? That's not true. I just
But
finished.
everybody feels
It's the trades after.
I
Yeah.
just finished a custom house. The staircase going up the stair. I was telling Manny, I was freaking out. The staircase going up the wall had to remove all the drywall. They had all the crowns in, out,
Yeah,
in,
no one
out.
crown studs.
Yeah, the kitchen backsplash was so twisted. You know, guys were just cutting a crooked wood on an angle, putting a nail through it, and then when the spray foam comes, it just pops it right the fuck out, and nobody cares about the drywaller.
Let's have a little fun. Jesse, what tool brand are you, man?
Depends what we're working with. Saws, skill saw.
No, nail gun first.
Nail gun, Hitachi. Not Metabo. Fuck the new ones.
I don't like Metabo,
You
actually.
get yourself
Well, Hitachi bought Metabo, or it's the other way around?
other way around.
Other
I
way
think.
around, okay.
But you find yourself a Hitachi A2. It's a coil gun. They're like 20 years old now. You find yourself one, and that's what you use.
That's the gun that you use?
There is, yeah, I have 5 of them. There is, I track them down, Kijiji, Craigslist, eBay.
He's like
wherever.
Tony.
What's so good about that gun?
It's just the way it fires. Like you'd think like, oh, nail gun's a nail gun. I don't know. You can tell when like firing the newer ones, the A5, I think is what it's at.
Didn't Milwaukee just recently release a new nail gun? Or
Fuck those cordless guns.
That's funny.
I'm
you
in
say
the
it.
same boat.
That's funny you see that.
I'm sorry, but I am.
during,
No, hang on, he's not
No, I
finished.
wanna
First of
tell-
all,
What do you do during the winter with those airlines?
With those airlines,
Yeah.
I take a
Alcohol?
No, I take a small container like this size of
So 100 ml water.
brake fluid.
Yeah.
Open up the bottom plug of my compressor and just dump it in. And then for like the first day, every time you fire a nail, brake cleaner comes out, but the lines never freeze.
Wow, great trick.
good little trick, huh?
Yeah,
I like
sorry,
that.
I had to ask that.
Yeah, no problem. But going back to those cordless guns, you're not supposed to on a truss to top plate connection. You're not supposed to use a smooth shank nail.
No, you have to have a coil
It
nail,
has
right?
to be a spiral.
cordless can only
a
do?
spiral nail. They make ring shank nails for stick guns, but it's like $110 a box.
It's not worth it.
I would be fucking surprised if anyone's actually going, "Oh, hey guys, we're putting the trusses on now. Go grab the ring shank nails."
They'll never do that.
They'll never do that.
Yeah.
That's
So you're definitely a hose guy versus a battery or cell
you
guy,
got,
right?
You got to produce. You got to.
That's what I've always said. I'm sorry, man. I'm a pneumatic hose. I like hoses. I like the sound of a
Yeah,
compressor.
you like the hose, all right.
Cordless saws, fantastic.
That's a
different.
game changer.
So you're a skill saw guy.
Yeah, that cordless worm drive, I don't care if it's heavy, the battery's big, whatever.
It is a heavy.
The way that thing balances, it feels like home. It's like, because the corded one, I have a couple of those. That's what I learned to cut on, right? That's what every production
Yeah.
framer ever
Yeah,
uses.
that's what I learned to
so
cut on, too.
when I grab the cordless one, it feels natural. Like I've had 4 of the Makita ones. They break.
I have the Makita one. It is fantastic.
In a production framing environment, they
It won't
break.
last.
The thing I like about that skill saw one, it's metal. It's it feels like a tool. The DeWalt is fucking top heavy as
you know,
fuck.
it's funny you say
Like,
that because I still have my first one.
Yeah.
And I put it to the side because I'm trying all these newer ones.
Yeah.
But I still have that and I haven't let it go.
They're the best.
You keep saying the word production, and I don't think I've shared production on my latest Manny rant, and I don't think a lot of young guys understand what I meant by the word production, and that's
Yeah.
something that Ziggy, my framer, taught me, right? And you know what it means, right?
Yeah.
It just basically means you produce when you're working. You're there on site.
Yeah,
You have to calculate how to be efficient. How do you work the day? You arrive there even before you arrive on the job site. Your mind's the hamster's spinning the wheel.
Oh, before you fall asleep the
Exactly,
night before.
and
For
you're
Manny,
thinking
it's a little
about
monkey.
It's not about them, but that word production should be in everybody's fucking
Yeah.
vocabulary. It's just if you're a tradesperson that cares, you'll hear anybody say that word over and
Well,
over.
we've been talking about this all week. It's kind of like getting off topic, but it's not.
If it's getting off topic, then get off because I want to go back to tools.
And you said this, like, guys want a lot of money and they're not producing.
No.
If I'm not making money, I can't keep you. So
100%.
production is
100%.
a keyword. You're right.
Miter saw.
Miter saw, I got a DeWalt.
My condolences.
I only use it. I got it at Bob's.
I got a DeWalt
Shout
one
out
too.
again.
I've never had a problem.
good, fine.
Never had a problem.
It's for cutting blocking. The only time I think most framers should have a miter saw out is, so like right now we're building like the passive, it's 2 side by side. There's 2 houses.
Oh, really?
So I've got like 500 mid-span blocks to cut.
Holy.
Set up a guy
Miter
with a miter
saw.
saw.
Set it up. Boom.
Pop.
Done.
That's his job for a day, right? Or joist blocking, ton of joist blocking.
I did want to ask you as one of my questions, and since you already kind of triggered the conversation, what is your favorite style of blocking? What don't you want to see in blocking?
How do you mean, like
for traditional lumber and then for eyes and so on? What is your go-to?
Okay, well,
what works? What doesn't?
So like the X bracing, like the traditional cross.
Do you like that?
I've never used it.
I hate it.
I've never been in a house that has required that.
I hate it.
Why do you hate it? I just got reached out by somebody
It's constant. The nails are always shifting.
Squeaks.
It's squeaking. It's pulling
does
out.
it? Really?
The joists are moving. I don't believe it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I tear it all the time. I tear it out.
You don't like it, huh?
I hate it.
No,
It sounds like you don't like it.
Yeah, so if you're framing with eye joists, you got to use eye joist blocking. A 2x6 wall, 2x6 blocking. Sometimes we'll put it on the flat if we know we're in like a bathroom where they're going to have pipes for the sink and stuff.
Or
'Cause
HVAC.
That way, rather than the plumber or whoever just banging it out, they can work around it. Structure stays there. It's all good.
Wow, you're really respecting the next trade. Good for you, man.
Trying to.
Are we Portuguese luck kind of guy, or are we using something else? Are we using Type-On?
I tried that foam stuff.
It doesn't
Hey,
work.
what's it like? Yeah.
Not as good.
No, it doesn't work.
I don't like it.
It doesn't
You're
work.
talking about subfloors right
Yeah,
now?
the subfloor glue. Yeah.
Yeah.
PL is normally what I get.
PL is a
given.
go-to.
What about
man.
lumber
It's good.
lock or Sika? Like, what are your...
I've used the lumber lock. It's whatever. I don't buy that stuff, so it's whatever shows up on site. I just
what's your
the-
go-to?
the PL is good.
On your own
PL.
house.
On my own house, PL and lots of it.
PL 400 or PL construction?
The 400's the gray stuff, right?
Well, no.
No.
The gray stuff is
It's
the
300, isn't it?
No, that's for foam. So
Okay.
400 PL 400 is made for subfloors.
Yeah, it's the gold label.
But people
right?
use the PL subfloor.
Yeah.
So there's 2 PLs. There's a structural, and then there's the subfloor, and then there's the PL 400.
Okay, I would probably go the 400.
The 400.
That's
Okay.
the one. That's the
the
logo.
one that stays gooey, chewy.
That's the logo I remember seeing most.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like lumber yards, you want some advice here? Send more glue than you send because we put glue in hangers and
Yeah.
you guys don't account for that.
And what's the trick to the glue in the hangers? Because I never see anybody doing that.
As
What do you mean you never
as
seen it?
much as you
Nobody's
can
doing it, dude.
So,
Dude, it's code.
He may be doing. I know,
Yeah.
but like he said, nails aren't long enough. People
wrong.
aren't doing this stuff, and
I
inspectors
just
aren't.
wanted to let you know that in the world of Carlito, NASA uses PL on their space shuttle.
Yeah,
you ever
it's
try to
true.
rip up subfloor that's been PL'd?
You know what? You know what the funny part is? He's making a joke, but you know the joke is he still hasn't looked into it, and he'll be
Yeah.
crying when he comes back.
I don't know. I can't confirm. But if you've ever had to renovate like a recently
Oh, it's a
built
pain in
And
the
this has been sponsored by NASA.
No, by PL. I still have that image of this,
No, but
this
like-
shuttle coming in.
like all
Tiles flying away.
all subfloors like should be glued to the 9. So like I warranty all my floors against.
You should be seeing it all ooze
Wait a
underneath.
second.
Every floor.
Every floor.
Like if I frame your house, your floor is warranted against squeaks. You got 2 years.
Okay, so I did catch you saying 5/8. I'm a 3/4 guy.
It's what was ordered.
It's
on
on the
this house.
spec.
It's on the spec.
Okay, so minimum code on a 24 by 24, 24 on center is still 5/8.
24 center? No, 16.
The floors are 16 in this house.
Okay,
Oh
I
God,
thought.
I would not want to tile a floor.
No,
on 2
not
foot
24.
No, I know, but I thought you were.
24
I
center,
thought you
you
were
need
saying
1-inch
in this
subfloor.
new custom home you're doing 5/8 on 24 on center.
Oh,
Now
no,
No,
you
that's
didn't
on the
hear
wall.
that.
That's the wall assembly. The
Okay.
wall assembly.
Once again, you're not listening while you're speaking.
I may be tricking someone.
Every 4 feet, there's a connection point, but
Yeah.
the floor is still 16.
I got it. I
That's
got it.
okay.
Yeah, Yeah,
We have to have fun in this show.
No, of course. Like LVL hangers got to get glue.
Everything
Everything.
glue.
Okay, so
except ceilings.
Let's play
Ceilings, no.
Let's play stupid. Homeowners,
Yeah.
new GCs or homeowners acting as GCs, because this week we had a homeowner that is now a GC on his own project.
Okay.
Where does that glue exactly go,
Where?
Yeah.
At the bottom of every hanger.
and why?
And why? Because that metal to wood connection is a squeak point. That glue.
That's the primary reason for the glue?
That glue provides a break from the rubbing that would happen there. It locks in the underside of that joist. What we do, so like you get steel beams, like when you put a plate to a steel beam, got to glue that.
Yeah.
When you pack out your steel beams, that I-beam, glue that. Everywhere there's a wood to metal connection,
It's glue.
glue.
Well, I
Always.
always tell everybody glue and screw. I
Yeah.
know he hates that theory, but that screw is also nails. So
No. I hate construction screws being used to frame.
I love screws for framing for my own personal use, because I had in my
We talked
past,
about it already. It's fine.
customers that change your mind.
Well, subfloors screwing them.
No, that's different.
Yeah,
That's different.
Because the Simpson screw or whatever.
Yeah, so
that's
you're
like,
using-
that's
you're
how-
using a
that-
quick drive,
that
right?
is- yeah, I just bought one. I
2
love
and a quarter, right? Or is it 2 and a quarter or
it.
2 and...
Inch and 3/4 is
Inch
what
and
we have
3/4.
on. It's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it was spec'd on the drawings,
Yep.
but you can buy them bigger.
Yeah,
I was nervous about that screw gun at first, but I realized it's efficient.
it is. It's very efficient.
So I used Scrails before. I'm sorry, everyone.
I don't even
What-
know who
what-
that...
yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know
What
what
is
that is.
that?
It's like a ring shank nail with a screw head that you can
Oh, I know
fire
you're
with
talking
a nail
about.
gun.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
know.
it doesn't do as good. It blows through. It doesn't lock. So I'm sorry, anyone.
I think with the subfloor, it has to be a screw, but
Yeah.
it's also a number 10 screw, I believe.
I believe they are. Yeah.
Yeah, number 10 with a 3, a number 3 Robbie on the
Yeah.
head, right? So that's the difference.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than
And
nails.
they're efficient, because I noticed. So when I got 4 guys, we're all sheeting the floor together. The guy on the guns nailing it, bang, 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 and then he waits. The screw gun is just slow enough that he's always moving.
Yeah.
He's never
As soon as the
waiting.
board goes down, he's
You can
finished it.
screw
The
it,
next
but it's
board goes down.
comfortable
Yeah.
to keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps a good
Flow.
workflow, much better workflow.
What's the air compressors you guys like to use? Is it gas or is it generator? What do you go,
I've
generator, air compressor, or compressor generator?
I've got 3. I've got the DeWalt stand-up plug-in one, and then I run that to like an auxiliary tank. And it's just because a lot of LVLs.
A piggy.
Yeah, a pig, an air pig. A lot of these houses have LVLs, so the extra air just helps us not have to hammer nails after.
Drive it in harder.
What are you swinging with?
I got the Martinez.
Ah,
It's on the logo.
I don't like the Martinez. I tried it.
Yeah.
How much?
Too much. But but when a guy shows up to my crew on his first day and he's got like the stiletto, the Martinez, the nice Occidental belt, I know this guy's invested money into his career. And
Yeah.
Of course.
He
Yeah.
gives
No,
a
it makes a
shit.
difference. And you know what? What people don't know is using a normal hammer over 5 years, your wrists, your
Vibration.
forearms.
Wrist,
Yeah.
Your elbow, man. Tendonitis.
I was just getting up the arms, Manny.
Dude.
You're trying
Yeah.
to beat me to this.
And then your shoulder, your rotary cuff, man.
I broke this wrist like 7 years ago now, 8 years ago now. And when I first started, I had like the big S-wing and like you'd pound 5 nails. That's it. You're done. Since I switched to like a proper thing, totally 100% recommended.
Wow.
So it's worth the money.
Yeah.
And how many ounces is that hammer pound in?
15. I like it's the steel head and the stiletto tinks. It's like tink, 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 tink.
Yeah, I love the
There's-
stiletto.
Yeah, I had one. It got stolen.
I
Unfortunately,
I
but-
tried it. My ex partner, he loves anything new,
Yeah.
so he let me try it, and I just never caught on to it. It wasn't for me.
What's the longest wall you ever built and lifted?
almost 80 feet.
80
Wow.
feet. How many guys you had on it? What's the rule of thumb now?
Wall jacks.
Oh, why make the extra effort and try to be a show off?
Always. I refuse to break walls. I fucking hate when you break a long wall
So
into
you'll
like
build a
16
whole
foot
wall.
sections.
And wall jacks. That makes
And
a lot
wall
of sense.
jacks. So for like this house with the Gutex, from what I was told, what helped me secure that job as the framer is he asked everyone, how are we going to put the Gutex on? Because he wanted the framer to do it. And everyone's like, oh, scaffolding, this, that, the other thing. Apparently out of 5 guys, I was the only one who went, we'll just put it on the wall before we lift it.
And lift it.
Right? Now you still have to tie in the corners. It's a pain in the ass, but it gets the bulk of it on. And then he's like, well, the longest wall in this house is 53 foot. And with all the Gutex, I calculated it's going to be like 6,200 pounds.
Holy cow.
My wall jacks are 2,000 pounds each. I got 4 of them, plus a telehandler.
Where'd you buy those, Bob?
No, Fast Tech up in Barrie. I made the drive out there. Yeah,
So you're thinking
fantastic.
smarter. And that little comment.
I want a long career.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what? There's no reason to show off. That's the whole
No.
bullshit
Well,
thing.
it's a
man.
smart career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And I bought the metal ones, not the wood ones that climb the 2x4, because those scare the shit out of me.
I always have a beef to pick with every trade. Why are the guys putting crowns in and out? Like, why are
No,
they
you're grading your wood before you build. No.
No, but I'm not
As
saying
So obviously when you're pulling from the pile, if it's rotted, if it's all dingy, got
Gone.
the mold on it, throw it out. I've sent back lifts of lumber that were like, if more than half of them, just from looking at it, don't look good, I don't fucking want it. I got other things I can do today. Bring me a new one
Good for
tomorrow.
you. You should be doing
But
that.
why
right?
are guys doing this
Why?
still?
Because they're either taught not to give a fuck or they're not being paid enough to. You have to remember, when you pay for the cheapest guy who quoted you, you're going to get the cheapest work. Guys who want to do things like pay their employees well, do good work, warranty their houses, you got to pay for that.
So if you're using normal
Yeah.
wood, please put your crowns up and out.
Always up.
Anywhere that you know as a framer or a contractor or a GC, you're going to be putting tiles on, or your tile setter will be there. Please put the crowns out.
Or
in those rooms.
One better, upsell to LSL.
Yes, definitely.
I was just going to ask
Definitely.
you. So we've had this conversation where we know that all pocket door entries are all LSL, but
Yeah.
we also feel that all showers and bath areas should be
Yeah.
LSLs.
Yeah, you're right.
All our tall walls
Any
now
tall
are
walls.
pretty well always LSL.
Okay, can you explain what that is to the homeowners, please?
LSL?
Yeah.
Laminated strand
Strand.
lumber, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this before, but I want people to hear it.
and
I
then
do want people to hear
and
it.
then
again.
LVL is laminated veneer lumber. So from what I'm told is a lot of the like wood scraps and stuff
Yep.
that come
So
get sent
recycled.
off, that
Yeah.
gets sent off a job site, gets all mulched up. They recycle it into these LSLs, and it's just like compressed with glue. It's probably more glue than wood.
And
But
I'll tell you, I
perfect.
have had nails and screws break trying
Yeah.
to get into these materials.
whenever we work with it, the compressor, it says no more than 120 psi. Turn that up to 160.
Wow. And what about your screws, though?
A structural,
Did you see Manny?
that would potentially be a smart place to use a structural screw.
Have you ever used P3?
Hang on a
subfloor?
sec. Did you notice that he said a structural screw,
Listen, dude.
not a construction screw?
Listen, I
There is a
have to
difference,
defend
man.
where I have to defend because you're making me look like an ass here.
Because no,
Okay?
I'm not making you look
In
like an ass.
In
I just-
television,
not everything on TV is real.
I know, but the problem is it's not the show that's the problem. It's the network that's cutting out the most important parts and how
Yeah.
it's educating people. And they're cutting out those, and it looks like something's happening that's not. Anyways,
Yeah.
magic show over here. Do you want to kiss me?
I mean, hey, to be fair, you got to thank those shows because your whole vendetta
No,
against them
for
is
sure.
what led you to being here
Of
right
course.
Well,
now.
and
course.
just for the record, I
Very
love
true.
him. He hates them.
No,
but
no. And I've been very clear. The first year was good, and when it was about construction, was great.
And you know what?
When it became about the almighty dollar, and then just any pretty face,
but we became good friends over
or
this.
soft-spoken. When you get idiots that are talking construction that are not on
Okay,
construction
and we're going to
sites,
change the subject. So,
Well, no, I want to know more about framing,
yeah,
man.
and what I wanted to lead to is, do you ever do metal? Because
Ooh.
I'm
You
interested
wanna
in
tackle
doing
bone construction?
I'm interested in doing some metal.
I've been a part of a bone structure house.
Okay.
I wasn't the crew lead. I wasn't anything. I was only a part of the job. I
That's a
liked
different
it.
world,
They
eh?
sent a guy from Montreal, came, helped us put it together. The reason I don't like it is it feels too much like a Lego set. Like anyone, I think, could take those because literally the plans for them, it is connector A to connector B,
B.
and then it's labeled. And it's the same thing with like my fear of like panelized homes because that takes all the skill out of what I do.
There is skill. I did a platinum lead home. I've done a couple platinum lead homes with metal. Unbelievable. Like I just really love metal.
Fireplaces will do out of steel studs to meet, like you got to meet the fire.
Yeah,
code.
now
But,
everything's
like,
zero
but-
clearance. You don't even need to.
Yeah.
You just need to stay 2 to 14 inches away from that
Yeah,
exhaust.
So, but other than I've never done like as like a company taking on like a full steel.
And I'm
stud.
talking heavy gauge.
How do you leave your job site, Jesse?
At the end of the day?
Yeah, no, at the end of the job. When the job is done.
At the end of the
how
job.
do you leave that site? Because after you,
Yeah.
we're bringing in roofers,
Yeah.
mechanical.
So I leave the site as clean as it can be. Give those boys a good chance to have a good start. And
You're in the back of your head, you're already thinking, even though if it wasn't a passive built, you're already thinking about lining up all your
always
everything.
Yeah,
because they need to chase.
In a standard house, every joist and every stud,
Has
whether
to.
interior wall, exterior wall, don't matter, lines up. Put all your squash blocks and point loads, every window. I don't care how big the window is, all the way down. All the way to the foundation.
For a lot of people, I found this. A lot of people don't know what a squash block is. So can you explain
Okay,
what a
so,
squash box is for a lot of people?
So since doors, windows, heavy beams and all that, there's no guarantee it lands on a joist or something that can help carry that downward load to the foundation.
To the footing.
A squash block is a little, sometimes like a triple 2x6. You can do it out of LVL, rim board, just something solid
To fill that.
that fills that void. So it's not just the rim board and then the 3/4, 5/8 ply, whatever, supporting that,
Hate
that
5/8.
pressure point, right?
Yeah. You know, you started this with a great note talking about how you guys are working with Hans and you're doing the exterior wrap, preparing the home properly from the outside. I never hear a lot of framers, only really kind of eccentric GCs that really care about the wood colors. So like for me, a lot of people, you do an amazing job in framing. You're saying all the greatest things, but a lot of times I like to use blue wood. I like to spray my wood with fire retardant.
What are your thoughts on that, Jesse?
So, and let me just finish one thing. So at my farm, I've taken cedar, I've taken Douglas fir, I've taken pink wood, I've taken blue wood, I've taken normal lumber, left it out to the environment.
Yeah.
And blue wood stayed straight, no termite damage, no mold, no mildew. Second was the pink, and then it just started going down. So like what I'm trying to make awareness is that when you frame a house, you could still, use other products to prevent termites, prevent mice and rodents and so on in the future.
I would want to know about the, is legality the right word? Maybe not legality, but I would want to know how safe that is in a fire situation. Because I know with pressure treated, we're not allowed to put PT
Inside.
on the interior of a house because when that burns, that's arsenic. That's all that stuff that anyone.
Not anymore, though.
Not anymore.
I still wouldn't want it inside the house.
Hey, read the tag next time if you can find PT now. But read the tag; it says wear a mask when cutting.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
No,
It actually says that, huh?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, here's my problem with that. And here's the reason I believe, because I know that blue wood and that pink wood has been used on that show. But here's my problem with those blue and pink woods. There's other ways to make your house termite and vermin and all kinds of insects or whatever proof other than the framing. I think you have to start at the sheathing. I think you have to, if you start going towards the passive way of doing things, you're using materials that are not friendly to these critters. They won't dig through them.
In theory, airtight should also be bug tight.
Exactly. Right? That's why I'm saying the framing is bullshit. You don't need to use that. That's why I never took off here. It never. Trust me. My first big basement, a 1,700 square foot basement that I did, $250,000 budget on it. I used blue wood. I did.
I loved blue wood.
I factored into the cost to use blue wood, and I had to cut the ends, and then I had to seal it again and all this other shit.
I loved it.
But then I started thinking again, I don't need to do this. I don't, and I never used it again.
Well, just kind of funny story to that is when I started doing basement jobs and renovations, because that's where I really started, is in renovations. A lot of times my homeowners would try to corner me in something that was built, and I'd say, "Oh, is that blue wood?" And they'd be like, "No," and I go, "Wasn't my work, thanks." So, anyways, I think that the negative, the positive, and we're bringing it to the table by having these conversations. Manny's making a great point, and I think that people should hear it anyway. So, options are the most the best opportunities.
Always. So, like when it comes to even pricing a house, right? Like not everyone wants that passive level of build, whatever, and like you don't.
They will, you know that?
I hope so.
I think in 20 years, I think there's going to be, if the vegan market is growing, if the electric car market is growing, I think if we're conscious about the way the world has been in the last 6 months, I think that market will grow. I think people will want to build smarter, passive, more efficient. I think we're going to take a lead from Europe, from Asia. We're going to take a lead because they have energy. They're consuming a lot of power. North America right now is consuming an unlimited source of energy. But it's going to come to a time where we can't consume that energy anymore.
We have no choice, right?
We have no choice. So then the ones that actually are smart enough to build smarter are going to benefit as a result of it.
When I was talking to another framer about the passive build and all that, and it's a guy I've built houses for in the past, the first thing he said to me is, why are you bothering to learn that? You're going to do one and then you'll never do one again.
Maybe not, but it's good to know that Canada was actually the first place where they built a passive house in Saskatchewan, right? And so I think that we should take the lead. I think younger people like yourselves should suggest it, propose it.
Of every time.
Be an advocate of it, right? And that's what it's really important.
But that's also leading into something different too. Like when we start getting into these really high-end platinum lead homes, we're starting to get into ICF, and we're starting to get into different building systems now.
I'm looking at getting my whole crew ICF certified right now. The
guys,
you want to get into it?
Please, I have a great system. It's called IntegraSpect.
Yeah.
I would love to hook you up with the president of Canada.
Give me a phone number.
Yeah. Well, we have to bring you back for a second.
Why
we don't have enough time.
Why haven't you called him up to be on the show?
I have. He's a huge engineer in Vegas right now. And he's been so busy. He promised me that when he comes back to Canada, because he is Canadian, but
picture a hotel room full of hookers and blow.
no, not at all. He promised me when he does come out
and
here,
a small little sample of the ICF in the corner there.
IntegraSpect also has the first and only flat roof system that's styrofoam also, which we all want to get into.
Jesse, are there any key framing things? Because we definitely got to bring you back. Maybe it'd be interesting to get you and Paul.
I would banter with him back and forth.
Oh, this will be good. I can't wait.
Maybe let's set that up. We'll plan it. But is there anything that you want to bring up regarding framing, like stuff that we may have?
Other than guys, just do a better job. Make framers look good. No more houses with fucking Tyvek blown in the wind.
Yeah, that's it's just sad.
Like little things that most people think don't matter but do. Like put the writing up so you can read it. It just shows that you care that 5% more. Make framing 10%. If you try 10% harder, everyone will be able to charge a little bit more money.
Yeah.
No one, because everyone told me, framing will never make any fucking money.
No, there's good money in framing.
If you just try that little bit harder, every framer out there, go to work tomorrow and fucking do 5% better. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're not going to go to bed at night thinking, fuck, is that beam going to fall? And you're going to make us all look good and build our trade up to the respect it deserves. Because we're the only ones who get to say we built that house. I don't care what anyone says.
That's true. It is
a good point.
True.
So take pride in that.
Isn't it a great feeling when you finish framing a house and you get on top of the roof and you're just standing there as if you just conquer the world?
It's better than sex, man.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, so there's just one thing.
Unless you're fucking on the roof.
There's just, that's a good idea. In front of people. I'm an exhibitionist. I like that.
We might have to cut that part out.
No, we're not. There's one thing that I wanted to close the book on. I didn't feel like we finished. Yeah. We're definitely bringing you back for a second one, and hopefully with Paul, so you guys can just go back and forth.
We can learn.
I wanted to ask you. I didn't feel like I kind of got the answer from you. What are you using in between? I asked you if you're using acoustic sealants or anything in between some of the lumber that you were placing.
The plates.
Yeah. What is the minimum requirement now for these platinum lead homes that you're making 5-star?
Yeah. So on this one, between the plate and the subfloor assembly, so the bottom plate of the wall and the subfloor, so there's nothing.
They're not asking for anything?
The air tightness is on the outside of the home.
Because of the...
So there's on a traditionally framed home, right? You wrap the Tyvek because then it ties into the poly on the inside of the wall, and that gives you your vapor seal. This house, that's all pushed to the outside, so there's no need to bring it inside.
So you answered something amazing. So now if you weren't doing it from the outside, what would you be using? Acoustic sealant, obviously, then?
I've never put acoustic sealant under
in
plates.
Between lumber?
In between the bottom plate or
No, sometimes when we're picking up those point loads, when we're doing point loads and so on.
Here's the funny thing. It's actually not a part of the code.
No, it's not.
No, but
I do it. I was doing it today.
If you're trying to get an energy efficient home sticker and you're looking for that sticker different.
I'm talking about OBC
that I didn't get today. I didn't get the sticker.
Go on our way out of here. Go
Carpenter
drive around. Look
site.
at the house.
No. Jesse was saying there's a house right around the corner.
On the way around the corner, go drive. There's a house being built, and go look at that. And you tell me if that's going to be a nice energy efficient house. because it's
Dum dum dum.
Dumb,
Embarrassing.
Dumb. I like that. Embarrassing.
Why would anyone ever want their name attached to shitty work?
You know,
They wouldn't.
I really want people to give you a call, pay attention to who you are. You're up and coming and growing, and you're 6 degrees from the most important people that I've spent 30 years in the business, and to find out that you're 6 degrees from all the most important people that I respect, look up to, and that are making a huge difference in this industry. You are going to be a key player in the future of this industry, and I hope that everyone that's listening pays attention and gives you a call, because you're the kind of person that's going to change this industry.
Thanks for the kind words. Thank you.
That's well said there.
Shut
Carlito.
up.
All right. I've been thinking about.
Hang on a sec.
I've
So
been thinking about this part all week.
at
We
Barbosa-
changed it.
at Barbosa Carpentry. Find them on G so you can hire him and check out what he's doing. 647-227-7783 or email them barbosacarpentry@outlook.com. So what do we have now, Carlito?
Oh, we have the 12 questions.
We added 2 questions.
Joke's on you. I listened today.
Damn it.
Okay, so we know what the deal is here. Jesse, what is your favorite construction word?
Word donkey.
Hey, got a second.
What is your least favorite construction word?
Oh God.
Oh, God?
No.
There's a lot of them. Oh, I hate a little bit more. So when like a guy's on a plate level and you're leveling a wall, we work in inches.
Just a little bit more.
It's not a little bit. Am I an eighth? I don't know what a little bit is.
I always hear sea hair.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. I know a lady on the show did say it, so maybe that makes it okay. But we'll see.
Oh, but there's also, I'm not going to get down that road. Sorry.
Dude, after everything we've done on this podcast,
Well,
you're
I
not going to
could
go
say-
down the
so,
road?
Well, there's different ethnics of thicknesses.
Oh, I see.
What turns you on in construction?
Clean framing.
Ooh,
It does.
yeah.
It really does. When you
When-
walk into a newly framed home, it does. It does,
When
man.
you see on like a hand cut roof on like the hand cuts, so you see all the rafters in the roof, and then
Yeah.
you do a coffered ceiling, and all those line up, and then you look to the wall, and then all those line up, and then you see the screws in the floor, and that lines up. Beautiful.
What turns you off in construction? Obviously, the opposite of that
Yeah,
shit.
the opposite guys who just undercut and don't give a fuck, make us all look bad, make everyone go.
Fucking right, man.
Who gets blamed more than anything? It's framers.
framers.
Why is your tile crack? Oh, the framer
Framers.
fucking didn't crown the wall.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, the GC gets to eat all that at the end of the day. Trust me on that one.
Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word in a phrase?
Hurry the fuck up.
What is your favorite car, boat, bike, vehicle?
Oh man.
Ford.
I don't I don't own one yet. I want a Harley bobber. Like a
Oh,
fucking
A
interesting.
bobber, right?
yeah,
Old school.
I not ready yet. All
Those forks in the front are fucking sexy
yeah.
as fuck.
This is the investment year.
The Springer
so-
front end there?
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
It's the investment year, so all the money goes back into the company. But
I could hear it now, man.
when it's there, man. Definitely
What is your least favorite car, truck, vehicle, boat, whatever, car, bike?
Sprinter.
Oh, you.
That's least, man. What construction sound or noise do you love?
Nail guns going off.
Fucking right.
Pop, 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 pop.
Lots of them. Production.
Sounds like a Tech 9.
Sounds like money to be made.
What construction sound or noise do you hate?
A sawzall, because it means I'm not making money.
Yeah, it's so true coming from a framer.
You're too good. You're too smart
True,
for your own good,
it's
man.
True. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Someone already said this, but I'd be an F1 driver.
That was the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you.
if I could have any choice to do anything, F1.
No,
for
sorry,
sure.
Jeff. It was Jeff.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Business cost me that.
Okay,
That's another podcast.
Because
That's another-
most F1s love hookers. So
Oh man. What profession would you not like to do?
I don't think I could be like electrician, plumber. Pulling wire all day, like
Then go home.
wait a
Doesn't-
second. You mean
doesn't seem
leaving
fun.
wire on the ground?
in terms of a trade, in terms of like everything. I don't think I could sit down long enough to work an office job.
Oh no, I don't think any of us are.
And by
office
now,
guys.
my vocabulary is so fucked. I'd be in HR the first day, right?
You know what? That's a good point. We'll get back to that
My
later.
HR doesn't have an HR, so I love that.
You want to complain? I'm the HR. Right?
I worked somewhere where my file was so big, they said, either I quit or you do.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Jesus needs a lead framer.
Jesse, thank you very much for
that
joining
was
the show,
wicked.
man. Really appreciate you being here and sharing what you did, man.
Thank you very much for having me on.
See, we
boys.
told you it was painless.
Wait a second.
It's not too bad.
Can we put a sticker on your truck today?
Sure.
What do you mean?
Yes.
on the tool, I got stickers and shirts for you guys out there.
No, he's got stuff first. But
yes.
I just realized I don't have stickers here.
I think I have some.
If you have some.
You guys must have like a second closet by now. All the shirts piling up.
I do.
People have
I
given
do.
you.
Dude,
Artistic.
I don't even buy shirts anymore.
No,
the only
I know.
shirts I buy are from Long Island to go out
The
for
worst.
dinner and stuff like that.
That was Jesse at Barbosa Carpentry. That's where you find him on IG. 647-227-7783. Give him a call, man. Hire him for you're booked for the rest of the year, no?
Don't give him a call because I'm going to hog him.
Barbosa Carpentry at Outlook.com.
I work from the 404 to Highway 6, and as far north as the builds are. I go where the interesting.
You work
builds are.
everywhere then.
You know
If-
what?
If a house looks cool to frame and fun to
Then
build,
you'll do it.
I don't give a shit where it is.
I have,
I'll go.
I have a funny feeling that in the next few years, we're going to see how large you've grown.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
We'll get you back, man. We have to get you back.
Yeah, we're
Can't
doing
wait.
number 2.
Oh, that was great, man. Thank you so much. So,
No problem,
Carlito, I think we got to get out of here. Get us out of here. So, that was our very first framing episode, and really, wow, a nice way to start framing, man. Thank you, Jesse, so much, man. Thank you so much for the food. We always love that. Anybody want to be on this podcast, please reach out to me because there's no reason to
Not
reach out.
anyone.
Oh,
Not
you're right.
just
That's
anyone.
right. Anybody from fucking TV is not allowed on this show.
No, that's not where I was going with it. What a hater.
And do reach out because it's way less painful than you think.
Yes, it is, man. It's fun. It's lots of fun, and we all learn and we share. So, thank you very much again. Carlito, get us out, get us out, get us out.
The 416 TO, baby. Portuguese chicken.